theyeshiva.net.
Shatayv Matzlachas, we start a new Perek today. Perek Sheni, Dav Chav Beis Amud Aleph on the bottom. Im Einan Makirin Oisei. The last Mishnahs of Perek Aleph dealt with Kiddush HaChodesh, the months when Bezdin sends out shluchim to notify everybody about the new month, and the next Mishnah about the months when Eidus could be Mechalel Shabbos in order to come. It used to be every month. Today, after the Churban Beis HaMikdash, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai made it only Nisan and Tishrei. And then the Mishnah spoke about relatives coming, a father and a son. And then the Mishnah spoke about those who are disqualified for Eidus, for Kiddush HaChodesh, like gamblers and so forth. And then finally the last Mishnah spoke about the fact that if somebody can't walk, they can take him even on a donkey on Shabbos. They could be Mechalel Shabbos. You could walk far distances. You could take food. You could carry sticks. Because Eila Moed Hashem Mikra Kodesh Shetikra Oisam Moedim, we learn that to declare Rosh Chodesh in the right designated time is a top priority, and it overrides even Shabbos. The next Perek Sheni, continues on the theme of Kiddush HaChodesh, sanctifying the new month on Rosh Chodesh. And it's going to basically explore three topics. Number one, how they received the witnesses who observed the new moon, the act of sanctifying Rosh Chodesh, and how they sent out a notification to all of the Jews. So the Mishnah now continues, Perek Sheni. Im einan makirin oisei. What happens if Bezdin of the court don't recognize the witness? Rashi says, Im ein Bezdin makirin esa'ed. Bezdin does not know who the witness is. Im neman v'kasherhu. If he's trustworthy and he's kosher.
Why don't we say every Jew is b'cheskas kashrus?
You're asking, why don't we say every Jew is b'cheskas kashrus? We assume innocent till proven guilty. So the Mishnah is going to explain because of something that happened. You're right. Usually we wouldn't ask questions. Kol Yisrael, we have a klal. Kol Yisrael b'cheskas kashrus. We don't believe that you're guilty till you're proven innocent. On the contrary, you have a cheskas kashrus. The status is you're a good person, you're an innocent person, until it's proven otherwise.
Who is the Sanhedrin?
Bezdin. Rashi says it main Bezdin.
Who's the Bezdin? Sanhedrin.
Sanhedrin. Why is Sanhedrin more clear than Bezdin?
Bezdin's three people.
There's not good.
Depends. There's Bezdin of 3, there's Bezdin of 23, and there's Bezdin of 71. Was the Sanhedrin, the main Sanhedrin, the main court. So if we know that this witness who's going to tell them about the new moon, they don't know him, we know the people in the city or the Bezdin in the city knows that they don't know him. Meshalchin imay acher. They send somebody else laha'idai to testify on him, a character witness with the messenger. The messenger is coming to.
That they know.
Apparently, that person they knew, because if they didn't know that person, so you're back to square one. So apparently, that person they knew, somebody who had a reputation, and therefore you suspect, you assume that they knew him, and he was a character witness for the witness who saw the moon. That's what they did. And the Mishnah explains the reason. But Rishoyin in the beginning, they used to receive the testimony for the new month, for the new moon, from any person, whether they knew him or they didn't know him. Just like in all of halacha, you accept witnesses. Anything, whether it's monetary issues, even capital issues, whatever it is, the klal is, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem cheskas kashrus. We assume every Jew to be innocent. So here too, anybody who came and said he saw the new moon, they accepted him. But then something happened. Shekilkalu abaytusim. One's the group known as the Baitusim. Deteriorated. They ruined things. Hiskinu Bezdin instituted shalayu makabel in element hamakirin. They shouldn't accept testimony only min hamakirin, only from people that makirin, that Bezdin knows them. Bezdin recognizes them as ksherim and ne'emanim, as kosher and trustworthy witnesses. Who were the Baitusim? The Baitusim was a group known as Baitusim, very similar to another group known as Tzedukim. Tzadok and Baitus were two people, two individuals. They were students of a man named Antignos. Antignos Ish Soicha is mentioned in Pirkei Avos in the first Perek. Antignos Ish Soicha Kibul Mishimon HaTzadik. Shimon HaTzadik is the last one of the Anshe Knesset Agdoila, the 120 sages who rebuilt Yiddishkeit and Eretz Yisrael after the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash and the renovation of the second Beis HaMikdash. Shimon HaTzadik was also a Kohen Gadol in the second Beis HaMikdash for 40 years. He had a very long, unusually long tenure, and was a giant of a person. The whole story, a lot of stories about him in Masechta Yuma. Antignos was a student of Shimon HaTzadik. He had two students, Tzadik and Baitus. And Chazal teach that when Antignos said, like he says in Pirkei Avos in the first chapter, one of the things he taught is, Al tiyu kavadim ha-meshamshim eserav manas l'kabel pras, Allahava kavadim ha-meshamshim eserav shaloi manas l'kabel pras. Don't be servants who serve the master in order to get a prize. The word prize comes from the word pras, which is prusa, like a piece of the cake. But be like servants who serve not to get a pras. So the Chazal say that when they taught this over from Antignos, so there's two opinions here, that their students misrepresented and misinterpreted what they said. He said, you see, there's no reward and punishment in Judaism. Nothing. And therefore they abandoned Yiddishkeit. Some say it was they themselves. It wasn't their students, it was Tzaddik and Baitus. You have different versions in the Chazal and the Rishonim, where there was their students. And these two groups became to be known as Stukim, named after their Rebbe, Tzaddik, or Baitusim, named after their Rebbe, Baitus. And one of the hallmarks of their philosophy was that they denied the authority of Torah Shebaal Peh. All halacha l'Moshe Sinai, all oral traditions, not explicitly in the pasuk, they denied, which of course was only a way of doing whatever they want. Because once Torah Shebiksav is so cryptic, it's so misunderstood, without Torah Shebaal Peh you can't begin to teach a pasuk. You must have Torah Shebaal Peh for Torah Shebiksav. Once you remove Torah Shebaal Peh, then you can do whatever you want. Everything can go how you want.
What's the original Lashon? They learned it like that?
Well, there's two I find them. Shalai al manas l'kabel pras, or al manas shalai l'kabel pras. Yeah. Right. So once they ruined the situation, and the Gemarah is going to say what they did, Bez didn't realize that they can't accept witnesses from anybody because they had an agenda. And here they specifically had an agenda to cause Bezdin to make a mistake, and therefore they needed to have witnesses for the witness. So either they knew the man, they knew that you could trust him, he's not a Baitusi, he's not a follower of the Baitusim. If they didn't know the man, and therefore there was suspicion, they had to send another man who they did know, and they could trust him to say, this witness is trustworthy. That's what the Mishnah says. Rashi says, if he's trustworthy and kosher, Mishalchin acher imay. So Rashi says Mishalchin. Who's Mishalchin? Mishalchin Bezdin shebeira. The Bezdin in the local town, every city had its own Bezdin. Besides the Bezdin in Yerushalayim, or wherever the Sanhedrin was, Lishkas HaGazas in the Beis HaMikdash, every city had to have a Bezdin. Shoftim v'shoftim titim l'cha b'chol sharech. Every city needed to have its own Bezdin, of course. You couldn't take every question to the Sanhedrin. And this Bezdin had the authority to deal with most issues. Not with all issues, but with most issues. So the Bezdin in the local city had to send with the witness another witness. Acher imay lahoyed alav lefnei Bezdin hagadol shemekadosh hasachodesh. So he would testify for this man in front of the great Bezdin, meaning the great Sanhedrin, the Supreme Court, so to speak, about this man. What's the connection? Mefarish b'Gemarah, what they did.
As a third or
They sent for the witness, another witness, as a character witness.
The third person.
No, there's one witness.
Well, we'll discuss that.
Witness right now.
Now it seems like one. The Gemarah is going to explain we're dealing with two. But it seems like one. Sfasemis asks an interesting ha'ara, very interesting ha'ara. Rashi says, Meshalchin Bezdin Shebe'ira. Yeah? Bezdin in the city has to send this person. Why does Bezdin in the city have to send this person? The Mishnah just says, Meshalchin imay achela idai. You send somebody else. L'cha'ayda, this second person, serving as the character witness, Bezdin has to know him. They're sending somebody who has a reputation. Because if Bezdin doesn't know him, you got the same problem. You need a character witness for your character witness. So if Bezdin knows him, why does he have to be a Shliach Bezdin? Why does the Bezdin of the city have to send him? Let's say Bezdin of the city doesn't send him. Rashi says, Meshalchin Bezdin Shebe'ira. So it could be Rashi just means practically. In other words, Bezdin knew the halacha. A witness wants to go and he says, I'm going. He says, wait, don't go. Now the Bezdin would know, it's a practical thing. It's not a halacha that they have to send him. Because, why would they have to send him? He can go himself. The Bezdin HaGadol knows who he is, right? So what do we gain from the fact that he's a Shliach Bezdin? So you might say that if he's a Shliach Bezdin, they'll give him a psa siman, or there'll be a psa code, or a document, or a letter, that he could come to the Bezdin HaGadol, even though they don't know him. So if he just comes and he says, oh, this guy is kosher, fine, but how do we know you? So he says, I'm coming from my Bezdin and here. So the Sfasem says, so they could do that with a witness. They don't need to send a new guy with a siman or a ksav or a letter. They could do that with a witness himself.
Witness was a problem with this.
And this guy's also a problem.
Who says?
So they know him. So what do you need a shlich? What did Bezdin have to send him for? What do you have to be a shlich Bezdin?
Bezdin knew that he is from the Beit.
What do you need him to be a shlich Bezdin for? The Bezdin HaGadol knew this guy. Elamai, they didn't know this guy, yeah? So Bezdin has to send him and give him some code or some letters. They could do that with a witness. That's his order. What do you need Bezdin to send him? Unless Rashi just means practically that from Rashi it's mashma that Bezdin, he has to be a shliach Bezdin. What if they're shliach Bezdin? If they knew him, they knew him. This is a shliach Bezdin. He has a reputation. The Rambam Tak in Hilchos Kiddush HaChodesh puts it a little differently. He says the people in the city send character witnesses to testify. According to this, you could say Rashi just means Bezdin as in charge of the city. Not Bezdin, that you need a din of Bezdin to testify for him. Because then they could, whatever they do for him, they could do for the aid.
But Russia, the first aid could be original bites from the Baitis.
The first aid could be from the Baitusim. That's why you need a character witness.
So,
No, the character witness can also be from the Baitusim.
no, but the Baitusim can't have a letter that he is good because he's from the Baitusim.
So then they wouldn't send him B'chlal. The character witness is saying that he's not from the Baitusim.
The problem is if there was a letter,
You forge a letter also?
you know, in Shabbos, we're talking about it Shabbos.
It's a rush to get
This
that
is
out.
Shabbos now. What are they going to do? Shabbos, tell me, how many other Yisurim are they going to be over on? Before we get to the point of sending to Bezdin? You have to send somebody else. I mean, it's Yisur and Yisur.
Someone who's a standing shliach
Das was seit
Bezdin.
Michael after Shabbos.
Huh?
Even the Ed.
Right,
Also
that's
could
not
do.
the Yisur
Also
Shabbos,
could do, yeah.
Shabbos,
Also
right?
could,
So-
yeah.
So what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Not being Michal Shabbos, they're going to have Bezdin's going to write the letter for him. That's a Michal Shabbos. And they're going to, now they have to say, yeah, they send the guy, finished. You know, that's the Chil Shabbos. Bezdin sends the guy, we're going to writing a letter because we can't write letters on Shabbos.
Yeah. No, but maybe they could give a simon. I mean, I'm sure they could find something for the aid. What do they need another
Thousands
person?
of what they did. Everyone has a secret code with the Sanhedrin they've already made up beforehand. With the Sanhedrin spy network and what's, it makes more sense this way.
You say they wouldn't want to give a ksav because it's extra chilul Shabbos. It's a new chilul Shabbos to make a new star.
And then it's also on the...
And sending the aid, you're saying, is less. It's also chilul.
That's it. Chum Shabbos, that's all they have with the aid.
What'd you say?
The last mission it says so many things that you're allowed to do.
Yeah. The witnesses, you could bring them on a
If
donkey.
you have to, if you have, there's nothing there that you can do that you don't absolutely have to do. No, but there's the choice. You have Bezdin writing a letter. There's a
You're saying instead of Bezdin writing a letter, Tchum Shabbos.
letter to the Susarab and out of the Tchum, but he's out of the Tchum. But so it's so Chutz Tchum. You don't know about the Chutz Tchum is also a problem.
Okay, fine. So in Mela, we had to send somebody else to testify for this person. Tosfos says, "Mishalchin imayachel lahidoi, va'oisei acher nami mechal lovas haShabbos." This character witness is also, we're allowed to be mechal Shabbos for him. He's also allowed to be mechal Shabbos to go. As we explained right the previous Tosfos, at the end of Perek Rishon, take a look at the last Tosfos, second to the last Tosfos on the page. Mechalin as HaShabbos, where it says that what? That for all elements of Kiddush HaChodesh, you can be Mechal Shabbos. Sakdaisus, Eidim Shiro as HaChodesh, the witnesses who saw the moon, Vafilo Eidim HaMeidim Aleim, B'She'ein Bezdin Makirin Eidei HaChodesh, Mechalin as HaShabbos L'Hoyed Aleim. And even the character witnesses, when Bezdin would not know the witnesses, they can also have Chilul Shabbos, in order to go and testify for them. We'll soon see a story that Reb Nahiroi was one of the great sages, went on Shabbos. He was Mechalel Shabbos to serve as a character witness for a witness who saw the new moon. He himself went on Shabbos, even though it was a violation of Shabbos. So from here we have clear proof that the Chilul Shabbos is not only for those who saw the moon, but for those who enable those who saw the moon. Because if somebody sees the new moon but he doesn't have a character witness, it's worthless, it's futile. So in other words, anything that is necessary to have their testimony accepted today in Bezdin, you can do even though it is Chilul Shabbos. That's what Tosfos is saying. Ad Kedei Kach. The Pnei Yeshua says a very interesting diuk to prove the accuracy of Tosfos' statement. When you read this Mishnah, if you had to write the Mishnah, you'll forgive me for phrasing the question this way, how would you write the Mishnah? Take a look at the structure of the Mishnah. Mishnah says, if they don't know the witness, you have to send somebody else to testify. Then the Mishnah gives history. In the beginning, they used to accept from everybody. Later, because of the Baitusim, they changed the policy. Says the Pnei Yeshua, the Mishnah should have been written in a different order. Go in the order of history. Berishon, in the beginning, they accepted witnesses from everybody. Then they had a problem with the Baitusim. So they decided we have to know who he is. Now, if we don't know who he is, make sure you send somebody else that we do know to tell us who he is. That should have been the structure of the Mishnah. Pnei Yeshua says, why does the Mishnah put it this way? Because this way, it comes as a continuation to the last Mishnah. The last Mishnah was Mishira Sachoidish. You could take him on a donkey, you could take him on a bed, you could take sticks, you could take food. Shal Mahalach Laila V'Yoy Mechalin as HaShabbos, because you could be Mechalel Shabbos to get to Bezdin. Eila Ma'ada Hashem Rishut Kreisa V'Mayada. So right away the Mishnah now continues. Imeina Makirin Noisem Meshalchin Imay Achel Ha'idei, also on Shabbos. We're talking about Shabbos. If you would start interrupting with the history, you wouldn't get this point. The Mishnah right away continues, and if we don't know him, we could send somebody with him when? On Shabbos we could send somebody with them. On Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we send somebody with them. But the Vart is, it's a hemshech that we can do it even on Shabbos. So it brings out this nekuda. There's another interesting diuk that the Rishonim ask, and that is as follows. Let's think about this. Min ha-Torah, you don't have to do this. Min ha-Torah, kol Yisrael b'cheskes kashrus. You accept any witness. This is a problem that happened because of the Baitusim. So it's the Chachamim during Bayis Sheni, suffering from the Tzdukim and Baitusim, who instituted a whole new din. So it's a din midirabbanon, not a din min ha-Torah that you have to send them. How then could you be Mechalel Shabbos, violate on Issa min ha-Torah, to do something midirabbanon? And let's clarify. There's a halacha that yesh koyach b'yad chachamim lakar dava min ha-Torah b'sheva al tasa. The same God who gave the mitzvahs also gave chachamim, when they're following the formula of Torah, we always have to say that, to uproot something from Torah only in a passive way. Look, it's a mashal. Rosh Hashanah shechali is b'Shabbos, you're supposed to blow shofar. Sukkot, that Shabbos, you're supposed to shake lulav. It says in Chumash. Sunday through Shabbos. We don't shake lulav on Shabbos. How? The Torah says, yeah. The Chachamim uproot. The answer is, if they have a reason, which they had a big reason, because they felt people are going to do Chilul Shabbos, so they could tell Jews, don't do a mitzvah. Not do a sin, just don't do a mitzvah. It's called Sheva al Tasa. Sit and do nothing. Don't blow shofar. Don't shake lulav. Here, what are they doing? They're not telling him to sit home and not make kiddush. They're not telling him to do that. That I can deal with. Don't make kiddush. You got to go. They're telling him to be Mechal Shabbos. There's no such a thing. There's no mitzvahs that Chachamim can tell a Jew to transgress a loisasa, to do something that Torah says not to do. They can tell him to be passive and not do. As to Rishonim, Mele, the aid going for Kiddush HaChodesh, this is a bim in Torah. The same Hashem who said to keep Shabbos said, this is Doicha Shabbos. But the shluchim that you're sending to testify for the aid, that's a Didir Rabbanah. That's not a dim in Torah. In Torah is B'cheskes Kashrus. How then does there be a koyach for Chilul Shabbos for that? And we see clearly Rebbe Noiroi was Mechal Shabbos. That's what Tosfos proves it. And that's the whole structure of the Mishnah. The answer that the Rishonim say, and the Turei Even, the Rishonim bring this, and the Turei Even explains this is as follows. Once the Chachamim, it's very interesting, once the Chachamim made a takana, that you cannot accept witnesses for the new moon, if there's no character witnesses who testify that these witnesses are kosher, the fact is, whatever the reason is, the fact is that Kiddush HaChodesh now depends on these character witnesses. Since we cannot make Rosh Chodesh without these character witnesses, automatically Chilul Shabbos becomes mutter. And therefore they could be Mechal Shabbos.
He's like a Minatayah.
Right. Min HaTorah, he could be Mechal Shabbos. In other words, MS, the reason I'm sending the character witnesses is not because Torah tells me to do it. It's because the Chachamim told me to do it. That's true. That's the reason I'm sending the witnesses. But L'poyel Mamish, because of this Takanas Chachamim, can I make Rosh Chodesh without them? I can't make Rosh Chodesh without them. So now I have a question. Can I be Mechal? Can they be Mechal Shabbos? They can be Mechal Shabbos. It's not that you Mechal Shabbos because of a din d'Rabbanan and their oiker Torah. No, you be Mechal Shabbos to make Rosh Chodesh. That's a din min Torah. Why do you need them to make Rosh Chodesh? That's takat takanas chachamim. That's what the Rishonim explain. That's what Turei Even explains. You have an interesting example, a little different. Shulchan Aruch Harav, Balatanya Shulchan Aruch in Hilchos Pesach in Siman Tov Mem Vav, he says something fascinating. There's a question, let's say it's a very practical question. I mean, hopefully it's not practical, but it's practical sometimes. You find a piece of chametz in your house the first day of Pesach, on Yom Tov. Before Yom Tov, you get rid of it. Chalamoid, you find it on Yom Tov. What do? You find a nice, under the couch, there's pizza left over from last Mitzvah Shabbos. We'll have a malka, a nice slice of pizza left over. Okay. What do? You cover it. Do you burn it or not? So this is a big machlokes. Some Rishonim say, burn it.
On Yom Tov.
On Yom Tov, burn it. Do beer chametz on Yom Tov. If you don't, you're being over on Bayirah, Bayimatzim, and HaTorah. Remember, bittul chametz doesn't help for this chametz. You know why? If the chametz was there before Pesach, it's bottled. So at least min HaTorah, you're not over because you were mafkir. But let's say this chametz, you had a dough, and the chametz became chametz on Pesach, you were never mavatal this chametz. So as long as the chametz is there, every second you're over on Bayirah, Bayimatzim. One shit is burn it. How do you make a fire on Yom Tov? It's a mitzvah saseh to rest. It's a mitzvah loisasa. The answer is, remember, making a fire min haTorah is mutter on Yom Tov. Min haTorah, you're allowed to make a fire on Yom Tov. Fire chal nefesh. Mitoch shehutur l'tzorich. But number shaloi l'tzorich. And this is not shaloi l'tzorich. This is l'tzorich a mitzvah. They say burn it. You could burn it. I'm a d'Rabbanan. We don't make a new fire on Yom Tov. Mitzad noilad. We only pass one flame to another flame. But we're talking min haTorah. You're allowed to make a. The second shitta, shittas HaTosfos actually is, you're not allowed to burn it on Yom Tov. What do? You cover it with a keli. Mitzvah Yom Tov, right away you go burn it. The first shita says you could burn it, or if there's a river, you could crumble it and throw it into the air, even though it's zoyra, it's winnowing. But again, min ha-Torah you're allowed to do zoyra on Yom Tov, and zoyra is winnowing, throwing it in the air and letting the wind carry it away.
In our day and age, that means flushing it.
Flushing it in the toilet, but that's even better. Then they couldn't flush it in the toilet. But then the second shita says you're not allowed to burn it. Why you're not allowed to burn it? The answer is because, or take it to the river or throw it away. The answer is because it's muktzah. Why is it muktzah? Because you can't eat it. It's Pesach. You can't sell it. It's not useful. It's like raw flour on Shabbos. It's muktzah. Muktzah, you're not allowed to move on Yom Tov. Because you're not allowed to move on Yom Tov, you cover it. You cover it, and that's what you do. You're being over by your by your motzah. It's chametz in your house. Min ha-Torah. The answer is yesh koyach biyad chachamim laker davar min ha-Torah b'sheva al tasa. They're not telling you to eat chametz. They're telling you don't destroy chametz for muktzah. Muktzah is not deraisa. Muktzah is midrabanan. So the Shulchan Aruch Harav says, why don't you do a simple thing? Bring the fire here. Bring the fire right here. Make the fire right here. You don't have to move it.
On the carpet.
That would be the answer today.
Can I feed the dog?
Huh?
No, you have
It's Pesach. I can't benefit from chametz on Pesach. Rabbi YY Lily holds you louder, but we're talking halacha. You're not allowed to benefit.
Bring a torch. Bring a torch.
Bring a torch. Make a fire there.
Your wife will go crazy.
Yeah. So what does he answer? He says you can't do that. You know why? Because min ha-Torah, you don't have to burn chametz. Min ha-Torah, you could be mefarer v'zoyer l'ruach mata l'yam. You could crumble chametz and throw it into the air. You could throw it into the sea. Yeah. Min ha-Torah, you could do that. You don't have to burn it. We can't do it because muktzah. But min ha-Torah, you can't burn it. To burn it is hutra mamish shaloi l'tzayrich. There's no tzayrich, even tzayrich mitzvah. Why? Because you could throw it in the river. We have a problem because muktzah. But Torah doesn't have a problem of muktzah. So you have here a very interesting situation. Min ha-Torah, mitzad chachamim, you should burn it. Min ha-Torah, you're not allowed to burn it because you don't need to burn it. You could throw it away physically. But there's a problem of muktzah. So what do you do now? So the chachamim say, do nothing. Do nothing. You can't burn it because min ha-Torah, you're not allowed to burn it, right? So you're being mechalel Yom Tov. You're being mechalel Yom Tov, and Yom Tov is also an essay and a loisasa. So therefore, tashbisu and bal yirah is not doiche Yom Tov, because both are essay and loisasas. Yeah, you can't throw it away, which you could do min ha-Torah. Why? Because it's muktzah. So they say, do nothing, leave the chametz. And then he adds, because you're an onus, you're not even on bal yirah bal yamatzeh. Because you're an onus, you're forced. Your hands are tied. You want bal yirah bal yamatzeh means you could. And you're not. He says here, you can't. You're tied. You're tied up. Your hands are chained, so to speak, halachically. So you're not over a bayir matzeh. So why are you not over a bayir matzeh? Yeah? Because the chachamim said it's muktzah, so you're not over a bayir matzeh.
Is there a key in mitzvah of being mashmas chametz? It's not yours on Yom Tov?
This is yours.
I'm saying it's.
Asay hakasav kilu b'rishusay.
So there's a key in mitzvah.
Yeah? Tashbisu. There's a mitzvah essay analysis.
Right,
No, because Yom Tov is also an essay analysis. To rest, not to make a fire on Yom Tov is also an essay analysis. It says Tishbis by Yom Tov, Shabbosin, and Loisasa Malacha. So you can't have Tashbisu and Bayirah be Doiche Yom Tov because it's also essay analysis.
And you have more than that, because Yom Tov Shem Shalom, if you find it, that Rabbanon coming in as well.
What?
If you find a Yom Tov Shem Shalom, the second day Pesach you find it. So that's
yeah, right, you're right.
I mean, it adds on to it.
Yeah. Sheval Tasa, he's just leaving the chametz. Sheval Tasa. That's why they could do it. They can't tell him to eat chametz. Mitzat muktzah. The muktzah makes him an honest, so mainly he's not over the pile. So the pile is not over by your matzah. This is a sibin tough involved, huh? No, zoyre you're allowed to do on Yom Tov. If it's l'tzayrich, yeah. Because it's a tzayrich mitzvah.
At Lisha.
You need some tzorich of Yom Tov, tzorich tzas. How are you going to do lachal kalachayat? You're going to crumble it kalachayat.
But in reality, you can't leave a pizza in your living room.
You could. You could. You have to. According to this shitta, there's another shitta that you burn it, but or you throw it out. But according to this shitta, you put a keli on it till Mitzvah Yom Tov.
What's the reason covering it?
You cover it, you shouldn't come to eat it. Bal Yirah, Bal Yamatzah means you're not allowed to physically have chametz in your domain.
See it?
You can't see it, and Bal Yamatzah means but Bal Yamatzah means you can't even have it. You can't have it. Yeah, but it doesn't take away. Bal Yirah means it shouldn't be seeable.
It's possible to see.
Okay.
Now, kalachiyat says kalachiyat mean with your foot. You can move it around, maybe with your.
You could move it with your foot, but what are you going to gain from that? No, you can't. Once the Zman Isser begins, you don't have the authority to be mevatel. It's not yours to be mevatel.
You can move it out of your shoes. You can move it out to Rosh Hashanah.
You mean kick it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, we can't move that of my shoes, but it's still mine. What's some kind of...
You want to know why he doesn't kick it out all the way? Kick it. Kick the chametz all the way to Rosh Hashanah. So Mela becomes hefker on Yom Tov.
You can make it hefker on Yom Tov.
Huh? Because you could carry, so he's saying kick it. Kick it.
That's kalachiyat, but it's not.
Just kick it all the way to Rosh Hashanah.
And there's some people who...
No, it's Yom Tov. He's saying Yom Tov. Okay. Fine. So let's go weiter now. So Mela, the Rishonim explain. So I'm just saying that's an interesting zushtel. Here it's a little different, but the vart is here too. Yeah, you're being mechalel Shabbos. Why? Mitzat takanas chachamim. But it's not that the chachamim are telling you to do chilul Shabbos for me, because takanas chachamim, I'm stuck. I can't make this Rosh Chodesh because I don't have character witnesses. So I'm being mechalel Shabbos for Doiraisa, for Torah. It becomes a din Torah. It becomes a din Torah. Just like there. I can't burn the chametz. I can't carry the chametz mitzad muktzah. So Mela, I become an onus. And Mela already been at Torah, I'm also not over by Rabbi Yamatzah. Okay. Now, the Mishnah, when the Mishnah tells the story, the Mishnah is basically giving the reason. This is B'Pashtus, why the Mishnah is structured this way. We asked before, why doesn't the Mishnah first tell the history and then the consequences? First say how it used to be, then say how it's now. What used to be comes before what is now, so first say B'Rishayna. So the Pnei Yeshua says the reason is to teach you that you could be Mechalel Shabbos for the character witnesses. Al Pi Pashut, there's also another element, and that is, the B'Rishayna is not a new part in the Mishnah. The B'Rishayna is a reason. Why do you have to send a character witness? So let me tell you the story. In the beginning, you didn't have to, and then there was a problem, and therefore they made that you have to. The second half of the Mishnah is justifying, rationalizing, and explaining the first half of the Mishnah. Zog the Gemarah. My acher. What does it mean, acher? It says, Meshalchin imoy acher lohidiya. They sent somebody else. What does it mean? Literally, it means that you send one, right? My acher chat. One person. Meshalchin imoy acher. You send one more person. Frag the Gemarah v'chad mi mehemen. One person is believed to serve as a character witness. Rashi says, Lahachshiroi lozeh b'cheskas neman. One person suffices to make the witness kosher, that we should assume that he is trustworthy. Why not? V'atanya, we learned a brayso. There was once a story that a witness came together with his witnesses, a dove. There was a ma'aseh that a witness came in front of Bezdin on Shabbos to testify on the new moon. And he brought with him two other witnesses, to give him a cheskas neman. What do we see from here? A dove. It doesn't say a doi. A dove. A dove is two people. So the Brisa says clearly there's two people that they sent. Now Rashi adds here b'Shabbos. How does Rashi know it was Shabbos? It says Ma'aseh sheba hu ve'edav imay l'hoydalav. How does Rashi know it was Shabbos? Maybe it was Tuesday afternoon. What's the difference? You need character witnesses whenever they come. It's not Shabbos. Rashi says Shabbos, and even if Rashi knows it was Shabbos, who cares if it was Shabbos or not? Sfasema says that Rashi learned this from the word Maisa. Maisa is like a psah. You know, let me tell you a Maisa. I'm not going to tell you a Maisa, oh, we woke up this morning. That's not a Maisa. If it was not a unique story, we wouldn't say Maisa. The fact that they had to send character witnesses was a constant situation. If Bezdin didn't know the person, and how many people did they know? They knew every single person. They always had to send character witnesses. What makes it a Maisa is that it happened on Shabbos, that they sent everybody on Shabbos. In other words, there was Chilul Shabbos involved. Why is that so important? Because now let's think about it. How many people did they cause to be Mechalel Shabbos? The witnesses and another two witnesses. If one would suffice, if one would be allowed, why make a Jew be Mechalel Shabbos in vain? Send one character witness. Why? If it was the middle of the week, you know what? Send another few. Send another few in case, they're not going to believe this guy, they'll believe another guy. Who cares? Send two. It's not a big deal to send another. But Shabbos, you're doing Chilul Shabbos. So why would you do this? Is the Charaya that you have to send two. It makes it much stronger that you really have to send two to the point that they could both be Mechalel Shabbos. That's why Rashi adds the B'Shabbos. It's a whole different geschmack in the Raya.
In this case, there are only three people.
Right. The aid with two witnesses. The aid with two witnesses. So it's a big question. Our Mishnah says Acher, the Brisa says Eidav. Rav Papa said, My Acher, Zug Acher. When it says in our Mishnah, Meshalchin in my Acher, it doesn't mean you send another person. It means you send another couple. Acher means one. Acher means another couple. Another couple to testify. Two people you send. And you can send them on Shabbos too. Hachenami Mistabra, I'll prove it to you. The Eloi Teimach, if you're not going to say that's Pshat, Acher means an individual, not a peer. Let me ask you a question. Let's start off the Mishnah. Im Einon Makirin Oisai. If they don't recognize him, who's him? The witnesses. My Oisai, who's him? The witness. No, Ilema Oisai Chad. Doesn't say Oisam. Oisam is a they. Oisai is him. That means there was only one witness. Ilema Oisai Chad. If you're going to say Oisai is that one witness who saw the moon. And now I ask you a question. Chad mi mehem. Do you believe one witness who says he saw the moon? You need two. Maybe not. Because Mishpat Ksiv by Kiddush HaChodesh it says in Tehillim, Pei Aleph, Tikul b'Chodesh Shofer, b'Kesel Yom Chagenu, Ki Choik Li Yisrael Hu Mishpat Lele Keyak. We already learned earlier, Tikul b'Chodesh Shofer is blow shofar in the month. What do you mean blow shofar in the month? Chodesh doesn't mean month, Chodesh means the new moon. We spoke many times, Chodesh means Chodesh, the new moon. The only time, when do you blow shofar the new moon? Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Chodesh. B'Kesel Yom Chagenu, the only Yom Tif that's by the new moon is Rosh Hashanah. Every other Yom Tif is the middle of the month. Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, it's all the middle of the, later in the month. The only Yom Tif that is the new moon is Rosh Hashanah. Tikul b'Chodesh Shofar. Ki Choik Li Yisrael Hu. This is a statute. A Choik is a law established by Yisrael. Bezdin. Mishpat Lelekei Yaakov. It becomes a mishpat. That means it has a geder of mishpat. Mishpat is basically the term for all civil law, justice. By mishpat, the halach is you need two witnesses. Al pi shnayim eidim yakum davar. So we learn from here that Kiddush HaChodesh also needs two witnesses. Mishpat ksiv bey. So how can it say im eina makirin oisai? It has to say im eina makirin oisam. Elo, you have to say oisai hazug. Oisai means not he, but them. That makirin oisai means they don't recognize the peer, the couple, it. Hachenami, my acher zugacher. So if they don't know the peer of witnesses who are coming to see the moon, they send another zug, another peer. So the Papa said there's no problem, they send two people. You had two witnesses saying they saw the new moon, and you had two character witnesses testifying for one of them or for both of them. Maybe they knew one of the witnesses, they didn't know what other witness, or they didn't know both witnesses, but Parshtus, and they sent a couple for both of them.
Mishpat goes on what term? Mishpat?
Mishpat L'Lekei Yaakov, that this declaration of Rosh Hashanah as a holy day is a din of it's called Mishpat. It's one of it's
Not on Rosh Chodesh, it's on
just like it's Rosh Hashanah. It's every Rosh Chodesh. All Yom Tov happens through Rosh Chodesh. It's Hainu Hach. Rosh Hashanah happens through Rosh Chodesh.
So the second pair didn't come to say about the Levun, they just came to say about.
Of course.
So if the people would definitely.
If the second pair saw the moon, then you don't need the first pair. Let them come themselves. If Bezdin knew them, then what do you need the first stam to Mutcha Yidden?
So if the first pair were really Tzedoikim or Betzuna,
They wouldn't come.
no, then they would.
If the first pair were by Tusim, why would the second pair do?
So then.
Why would they lie?
So then they would go out again, or.
Again. The second pair Bezdin knew they were honest Jews. They were not by Tusim. Why would they testify a lie that these Jews are not by Tusim?
I'm saying if two by.
So they're good. What's the problem? If the first witnesses were by Tusim, they're not going to testify that they're not by. They had to testify that they're kosher erlich Yidden. They're good Jews. Because if they're by Tusim, why would they testify that? Unless they're also by Tusim. Unless it's for by Tusim, right?
Yeah, but the Bedin knows this.
That's why the second pair Bezdin has to know. If not, you have a problem. What do you gain? Could it be all by Tusim?
They were so strong, the Baitusim.
The Baitusim were very strong. The Tzdukim and Baitusim, of course, there were periods that they controlled the whole Kahuna, the whole Beis HaMikdash.
They radicalized everybody.
One way or the other way. Yeah, they had tremendous power. There were times that the kings would Tzdukim, the grandchildren of the Chashmonaim became Tzdukim. Yochanan Kohen Gadol, Shimish B'Kahuna, Shmoinim Shana V'Nasa Tzduki. The grandsons of the Chashmonaim, their great-grandchildren became Tzdukim, and they had all the power. They controlled the whole Beis HaMikdash, and they controlled the Malucha. There was a point where there was civil war. I mean, it was ugly. It was ugly. There was a war. It wasn't simple. There was a lot of problems with the Tzdukim.
Is everything because of this one member?
Listen, I don't think it was that state. You know, it's. You hear what you want to hear. Also, you know what I mean.
It's not like they were trying to be not religious or something. They just had a different view. They were going based on right?
Their excuse was that they don't believe in Torah Shabbal Peh, but ultimately it allowed them to manipulate Torah the way they wanted. Once there's no Torah Shabbal Peh, you could already do. There's no straightforward. Chumash is so cryptic. There's not one pasuk that doesn't need an explanation. Not one.
They didn't have a problem with that. For some reason,
Besukas teish v'shivas yamim. Besukas teish v'shivas yamim. Sit in a sukkah. What does that mean? A glass hut on the porch. What does besukas teish v'shivas yamim? Kshartam lo'isal yedecha. Tie it on your hand. Tie what on my hand? Potato peels. What do you do? V'hoil tatofes b'neinach. Lo'isavashal g'di b'chelev imoy. Don't cook goat in the fat of its mother. How do you know it says b'chalev imoy, milk? Oh, because you have nekudas. Who gave you the nekudas? The Sefer Torah does nekudas. All Torah, everything is Torah Shabbal Peh. Without Torah Shabbal Peh, you can't move. You don't know where to put a comma. You don't know where to put a question mark. You don't know how to pronounce words. You don't know the meaning of words.
So they had their own Torah Shabbal Peh or not?
They made. That was the point. The point was once you dismiss Torah Shabbal Peh,
they were convenient. They did.
you can manipulate. They had a few chumras also. They had their maises. You're not allowed to ignite fire on Shabbos. Meant you're not allowed to have cholent on Shabbos. Huh? They sat in the dark. Yeah, you're not allowed to fire.
Yeah, but they had a certain book or something.
I don't think so. Not that I know.
It was all the night.
Yeah, neither. Even a mikveh. What's a mikveh? Ach mayim bor mikveh mayim yiyatoyer. Okay. So fill up a bathtub and go to the mikveh, right? I mean, there's not one mitzvah that one mitzvah. Even a bris. How do you know what a bris is? Maybe you have to cut off your finger. Even a bris. What do we learn? It says Arl Zocher. So we learn from here that Arla is where there's the male component, not a female component, right? What's a bris? Shem says make a bris. What's a bris? Circumcise. Circumcise what? Huh? Shchita for sure. What do you do with shchita? You put a bullet in his head, maybe that's shchita. What do you do for shchita? Just kasher tzivi sicha. Slaughter animals like I commanded you. The pasuk says, he never commanded you. From here, you also see a raya for Torah Shabbat Peh. To say that there's no Torah Shabbat Peh means there's no Torah Shabbat. You understand? To say there's no Torah Shabbat Peh means that God was making a joke. He gave you a document for absolutely no purpose. It's not like Torah Shabbat Peh is something new and separate. The Rambam says, Torah b'firusha nitna. When Moshe gave Torah Shabbat, he gave it with a shear. He gave it with a manual, not a written manual. He gave it with an oral manual. Everything was with a shear. Fakert, the written Torah is a summation of the shear. You understand? It's not that Torah Shabbat Peh is a pirush on Torah Shabbat. If you really want to know the truth, Torah Shabbat is the written summation of Torah Shabbat Peh. When you read a pasuk and you heard Moshe Rabbeinu's shir, you see the whole shir in the pasuk. He put into the pasuk all the details, hinted and compressed. In one pasuk, you can have 100 halachas if you know how to analyze it. He gave the Jews a written summation of everything he spoke. So the two are inseparable. That's how the Jews understood it. The Tzdukim and Baitusim reinvented that. Now, particularly here with Kiddush HaChodesh, they were obsessed about something, as the Gemarah will see what they were obsessed about. I mean, because you would think, what's the big deal here? What do they care if it's a moon? What do they have to fight about the moon? I mean, what's there to fight about?
There's nothing left from them now, right?
Today, it's Tzdukim and Baitusim.
That's the reform.
That's reform?
But it's not the same.
No, it's not the reformers. Tzdukim and Baitusim. You still have the Kroyim, that you have.
What are they?
The Kroyim were the Karaites. The Karaites was already later in history groups that were following the traditions of the Tzdukim, again, developed, and they were also very strong.
They redeveloped?
So yeah, they reinvented the concept of the Tzdukim, where they made their own Torah, they denied Torah Shabbat Peh. So that you still have. You have in California, I believe, a few shuls of Karaites, and you have in Israel a few of the Karaite shuls. They're called Kroyim, Shchunas HaKroyim. They're called the Karaites, the Kroyim. The Rambam fought them very heavily. I mean, it was a well-known machlokes.
How many years was from Torah Shabbat to Torah Shabbat Peh?
Same day. There's no gap.
No, he's
Till
talking
they
about
wrote it?
Oh, the first document that was written officially, people would take notes always. They always took notes. Yeah, everybody took notes. People sit at a shir, they take notes. Like a doctor. But the Mishnayos was written by Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi. How long after Moshe Rabbeinu? So you make a cheshbon. The Beis Hamikdash was built 480 years after Yetzias Mitzrayim. It stood for 410 years, right? So that's 890 years.
No, but that's not from Torah Shabbat. Torah Shabbat is nach also.
No, I'm saying from Chumash. You want to go from Chumash. You want to go from Chumash. So you have 890 years, and then you have another 70 years, and then another 420 years. So it's approximately 1,600 years after Yetzias Mitzrayim.
The 1,600 years they lived with notes, what they heard.
The main thing was the Rebbes and students. Everything was the Rebbe and the students. Everybody had students.
Are there any notes?
From that.
No,
But you have all the brises, all the Mishnayos, all the brises, all the Midrashim.
When did he go back?
When did Ezra
So after the first Beis Hamikdash.
Ezra Sofer came back with the beginning of Bayesheni.
That's when he.
Yeah, but the Mishnah was written
After.
around 150 years after Churban Bayesheni.
And then
That's
Shas
approximately
was written. Ravashi was another.
A few centuries later, right?
You're right. But so from Torah Shabbat, pure Torah Shabbat, Tinach, which is Torah Shabbat, which you do the Mutter from.
So that's the beginning of Bayesheni. So it's around 500, 600 years. Bayesheni stood for 420 years, and around 150 years later, the Mishnah was written, and then later the Gemarah was written, and so forth. So it's a few hundred years past. Zog the Gemarah, v'chad loy mehemen, and one person is not believed. You're establishing, the Papa is establishing, you're right, you need two character witnesses, like the Brisa says, a dove, and our Mishnah doesn't mean one person, it means a couple. You send a pair. Acher is a pair. Zog the Gemarah, really? V'chad loy mehemen. V'atanya, we have a Brisa. Ma'aseh Reb Noiroi, a story with Reb Noiroi, Shahalach Eitzel Ha'ed, Lahayir the love b'Shabbos b'Yusha. Reb Noiroi went to the witness who saw the moon to testify about him on Shabbos in Usha. Yeah, no, Reb Sheshus.
No, what's Noiroi as opposed to Meir? No, this is Reb Noiroi Suma, no?
We're going to see later in the Lamed Aleph that Eser Goli is Golsa Sanhedrin, meaning the Sanhedrin's place was in Yerushalayim, a place called Lishkas Hagazis, a room in the Beis HaMikdash. They had a room that was made for the court on the Harabayis, on the Temple Mount. Before Churban Bayesheni, they had to leave, and they went through 10 exiles. One of the places that the Sanhedrin ended up was in Usha. So at this point, the Sanhedrin are in Usha. That's where the witnesses are coming. So Reb Noiroi knew that there's a witness who was testifying about the new moon, but the witness needs a character witness. So on Shabbos, he went, even though it was a Chilul Shabbos, in order to testify for him. And the question here is, how many people went? Reb Noiroi went himself. It says, it seems like you can have one witness, not two. So the Gemarah Amri, the Bnei Yeshiva said, no, Reb Noiroi Sadachrina have a bad day. That's not the point. Reb Noiroi really had another witness with him. Why don't you mention him? Out of respect and honor to Reb Noiroi. What's Pshat? Whoa, how would it be disrespectful to say he went with somebody else? Yeah, what's Pshat? So Rashi says, Be'usha, K'sheyashva Sanhedrin Sham, V'shamoy Makachnas HaChaydish, Mishum Kvoided Reb Noiroi, Zok Rashi. Sharei Lehuska Reb Noiroi, Elilmid Mimenu, Sha'adam Gadol Kemoisei, Noag Hete Bedavar. Ve'en Kvoidoi Shenavi Yisra Yoseinu Af Mechaveri HaKatan Mimenu. What's the point of this brisa? That you have to have a character witness? It's a Mishnah. The point is that a man like Reb Noiroi, who was one of the great giants of the generation, was an Adam Gadol. He himself was Mechalel Shabbos. He was Mechalel Shabbos for what? Not to say he saw the moon. To testify about the person who said the new moon. That's something. No get bedavar. So therefore, it's not respectful. We're going to bring a raya from somebody who, in terms of godless, in terms of spiritual and moral and scholarly greatness, is smaller than him. So of course he went with somebody else, but that's not relevant to our story. What do we say? And by the way, there was another guy, Chaim Yankel, who was also Mechalel Shabbos. Okay, that's not a raya. What I want to tell you is Reb Noiroi went to be Mechalel Shabbos. That's a statement. So the brisa is not coming to tell you how many people went. It could be 2 people went. Could be not. But we can't prove from the brisa that 2 people didn't have to go. Maybe 2 people have to go. The point of the brisa is to tell you that Reb Noiroi went. Did he go with somebody else? Yeah, he may have gone with another person. But it wasn't in the stature of Reb Noiroi.
To show how important it is. Yeah.
To show how important it is. Reb Ashi Amar, Reb Ashi says, different. Reb Noiroi Sada Achrina Hava B'Usha. Reb Noiroi knew that there's another witness, another character witness in Usha. He knew that. V'azur Reb Noiroi Litztirufa B'Habe. So Reb Noiroi went to combine himself with that character witness. In other words, you don't have to say that 2 people went, and the only reason you don't mention the other one is because of cover to Reb Noiroi. He went himself. He went himself, you said you need 2. The answer is he knew that there's one man who knows this guy. He knew there's a guy who knows it. So I don't have to worry. I have to go myself, so there should be 2 witnesses. So mainly the bottom line is that what? That you need 2. Zog the Gemarah, if that's the case, Maila Memra, what is the Chiddush? What's the Chiddush here? If this is the case, Maila Memra, what's the Chiddush? What's Pshat? Chayre. According to the first answer, the Chiddush is Reb Noiroi was Mechalel Shabbos. That's a big thing. You should know Reb Noiroi was Mechalel Shabbos. That's not a small thing. That's why you don't even mention the second person, because it's not Negeya. What's Negeya is Reb Noiroi was Mechalel Shabbos. According to the second answer is not trying to tell me that Reb Noiroi was Mechalel Shabbos, right? And that's why you don't mention the second person. You don't mention the second person because there was no second person. He went himself, right? So, Yachim Maila Membra, what's the Chiddush? What do we mean? You can't tell me the Chiddush is they allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos for this situation. That we already see from the Mishnah. The Mishnah says you could take a bed, and you could take sticks, and you could take food, and you could take whatever you need. And for these shluchim, you can also be Mechalel Shabbos, because you need it for the Eidos. So you can't tell me that's the Chiddush of the Brais. So what's the Chiddush of the Brais? According to the first interpretation, that an Adam Gadol was Mechalel Shabbos. An Adam Gadol. According to the second interpretation of Rabbi Ashi, that's not your point. Because you're saying that what? That Reb Nairoi went himself. It's not like you're eliminating the second person because you want to bring out Reb Nairoi. You're just telling a story. So what's the point of the story? So he says the point is, Mao the time I would say, Shabbos. Perhaps for a suffix you're not Mechalel Shabbos. Reb Nairoi doesn't know for sure that person is an Usha. Maybe he's away for Shabbos. Maybe he went to his daughter for Shabbos. He doesn't know that he's there. So he's being Mechalel Shabbos al HaSafek. It's a doubt. He may come, and the second character witness is not there. Kamash Malon, that he could do it even for a Safek. That would be the Chiddush according to the Bashi. That even for a Safek, that it may not even work. If Reb Nairoi is walking with the person himself, he hasn't. But according to the Bashi, he's not walking with the second person. He's relying that the second person is an Usha. And what if he's not there? And what if he's not capable of testifying? And what if he's away? Still, he was Mechalel Shabbos. Kamash Malon. That's a good thing.
And Shabbos out of an assumption of the story from Rav Ashi?
No, it says Reb Nairoi was Mechalel Shabbos. The question is, there's one person or two people?
I know.
Shabashi said there may have been a second person over there.
Yeah, and it's an assumption, right?
Yeah.
It's an assumption. So from the assumption, you learn that it's Sveikim Mechalin Shabbos?
Yeah.
We know a story. We don't know what really happened over there. So there's two shitters.
In this case,
One is that
No,
there was another.
we know Reb Nairoi went. That's not a shaila.
No, but
And we know you need two.
But we don't know that it was the reason the Bryce doesn't mention it.
But it doesn't say somebody else went. So
one person went.
So Rabashi says you have to say.
There was someone there,
Yeah.
and based on the assumption.
So based
we
on
learned-
this, no, he's asking, what's the Brisa trying to tell you? Not that you're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos. We know you're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos. So what do we need the story for? The story is that you could be Mechalel Shabbos al Safek.
So they did have someone.
Rashi says, Misveika, Shema Eino Yisrael Bebeisen. The guy may not be home.
How do they know that? Why,
But it doesn't
why
know
did
for
he
sure
have to
that
go
that was
to
the
Shabbos?
case.
Meaning, how did he get the communication that he's there? That Eidos is
No, he knew the guy lives there.
there? He came to.
Chaim Yankel is a witness. Reb Nairoi knows that Bezdin doesn't know Chaim Yankel. They're going to think he's a Baitusi.
Chaim went to.
But Chaim Yankel has a Rosh Yeshiva, and the Rosh Yeshiva lives there. He says, great. We were together. We were Chavrusas in Yeshiva.
That's the only way.
We were Chavrusas in Yeshiva. By this teacher, let me go there and he'll testify.
He found out that Chaim Yankel is there and he's.
Chaim Yankel lived with him. He was his neighbor.
He was neighbor, fine.
He saw the moon. Says, let's go.
No, it's.
But he's there already. Chaim Yankel is there already. He's coming to say Eidos. And
Chaim Yankel may have been there or may have left already, whatever it is.
That's why Shabbos?
We're making assumptions with the
Why
story.
not Friday? Or when did the communication
Either
get with
way,
Nairoi
we don't mention it
that they
before.
need Eidos?
The word assumption is the wrong thing.
I guess Reb Nairoi knew that he saw it and he left.
It's not an
Also,
assumption.
he was
It
not
must
here, so
be
he went
this
to
way. Not
say
an
Eidos,
assumption.
or somebody came.
No, he saw it Friday
It
night
must be this way.
and he went to Bezdin.
Can't must because
And Reb Nairoi knew he needs a character witness, so he went.
It must be this
Then
way.
there were two people.
Must be.
No, he went himself.
Without that, because
He
it
didn't
can't be
wait
the other way.
He went by himself.
Because he needs two.
The aide went himself. Reb Nairoi knew it's not going to work, so he went.
It's not that it was requested for somebody was requesting Eidos. Nairoi knew that he went, and he knew that.
Or he went with him, or he told him to go. I mean, whatever, that's all.
The communication. When did this?
Obviously, it had to happen. Reb Nairoi couldn't live far away from the aid. If not, he wouldn't know that he's going. Was ist gefragt? Was ist nicht verstanden? Frag.
explaining me the from
Pirkei Avos.
Oh, my question was basically that he says it must be that way, the story. If there's two different interpretations of the story, so basically they don't know the story, they're just assuming it.
It's not assuming. It has
What
to
is
be
it?
this way.
What is it?
Since you need two agents.
We don't know what the
you
story
need two.
was. They don't know what, except...
No, we have a problem with the story.
Yes,
The
but...
problem with the story is you need two people.
Fine.
Okay, that's number one. and it says Reb Noiroi went himself. Doesn't say there was another
It
person.
doesn't say one himself.
It just says he
Noiroi
went. You're right. Doesn't say he went himself, but it says he went.
So Rav Asher is a
So we have a problem. We have a problem. You understand? We have a problem.
I know we have a
If we wouldn't have a problem, you're right. But we have a big problem.
The problem, what is the problem? The problem is that
We need
Yeah,
two.
the Echad. Yeah.
It says Reb Noiroi went. We need two. Wo ist der zweite Mensch verschwunden?
actually, yeah,
And-
So one answer is, which Rabashi did not like.
What?
somebody
Why
lives
didn't
over
they like
there.
it?
You understand why he didn't like it?
Why?
Because,
most of the time when there's a second answer, there has to be something wrong.
yeah,
with
of
the first
course,
one.
always.
What's wrong with the first one? The second one, you come.
He doesn't like the first answer because the first answer ultimately cuts out part of the story. It says, "Neiroi halach eitzel ha'eid."
It's a big deal that Reb Noiroi. It's like saying.
No, it's a big deal, but you can mention Reb Noiroi halach, right? Im chaveiroi or im ish acher to be made.
Why doesn't it really
So the Bashi says, "No, you're right. I'm keeping the story as is.
What?
He went himself."
The Roy went, and there was another guy who went.
That's the Bashi. He says,
So what,
"Makes
what's wrong with
sense."
that?
Nothing wrong. That's what he says. It's pshat.
Yeah, but based on that, you
You're
come
right.
up with the big.
Frag the Gemarah, what do you need this whole brayso for? What's the point? Time to telling me stories? That you're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos, I know. Das weiß ich. You're allowed to be Mechal
This
Shabbos.
means you're not breaking Shabbos.
You're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos, I know from the Mishnahs already.
Roy, such a big person went in Shabbos.
Oh, so that works according to the first answer. First answer, you're trying to say that Chiddush.
Okay.
That Ibn Noiroi is a big person, and that's why you don't even mention the second person. Right?
It's not like I don't mention him out of it because
This story was with
the
him.
story was with him because the idea is that he went.
Right.
It's not like it's gonna.
Exactly, that's the point. Mishum Kvoida, I don't need to bring rayas from the second person. The second person, whoever he was, all benched.
What's wrong with the first?
Nothing wrong. But I hachi maila memra. Like the second interpretation of
Make
Rabashi.
it stronger. But not only we say someone, we say Nero went.
Didn't we learn
It's a
that
story.
Avram
It's a
Avinu
nice
traveled, and he traveled with people to help him because he was a great man?
Yeah, no, a Talmud Chacham has to go with other people.
So
Yeah, but no, the question is not if he, but for Chilul Shabbos, you're not going to be Chilul Shabbos for that. A Talmud Chacham has to go with somebody, but not Chilul Shabbos. Unless it's a danger of life, you're not going to desecrate Shabbos for the covet for that thing. You understand? In the middle of the week, a Talmud Chacham has to have an escort. You're right, but here it's Chilul Shabbos. That you can't do. The covet of the Talmud Chacham doesn't come before the covet of Hashem. On the contrary, covet of Hashem comes from Hashem. So the question is, Loit Reb Ashi, obviously it's not that the Chiddush is Reb Noiroi was Mechal Shabbos, because then he could have said the first answer. So he say, what's the Chiddush? That you could do Chilul Shabbos, I knew. So what do you tell me? Stama Ma'isa by Reb Noiroi? Thank you. He says, no, there's a Chiddush here. Chiddush here is a suffix.
What's the suffix?
If the guy may not be home.
This is like
The guy may not be home. The guy may not be home.
Why was Rashi not happy with the first?
It's like a building
interpretation
in
of the
Chicago.
story?
Huh?
This is like a skyscraper in Chicago.
Why was
I make
Rashi?
an assumption that the reason it's not mentioned is because there was a guy in that city and
It's two assumptions.
You're asking how could
Rabbi
Rabashi make such a radical chiddush based on his assumption? Go back to the first answer
Yeah.
and don't make such a chiddush.
No, you can make such a chiddush, but on a better foundation.
Problem is, it doesn't say like
What was
the
Rabashi's problem with the first thing? What was
Rabashi's problem is it doesn't say there was another person.
Says only Rabbi
Who said that it needed to be for, again? He went on a
Because you need two witnesses.
Good. There was another witness.
Very good. That's what Rabashi said. That's what Rabashi says. There was another
How
witness.
did he know? He didn't know.
But he's not. He doesn't know if the guy is home. What if the guy left for Shabbos? There's no WhatsApps.
Oh, so
Remember.
that's a suffix. That's the suffix.
That's the
One
suffix.
night, because one night is not getting.
Maybe that guy is not home.
Maybe that guy's not there.
Maybe that guy is not home.
But maybe there wasn't a guy there. Maybe there was.
You're right. Maybe he wasn't there.
Maybe there was the guy.
No, he
No, maybe
leaves.
there wasn't a guy.
The suffix is if there's only one
Maybe
guy.
there was another guy with him.
It doesn't say so. It says
He's traveling Chal Shabbos.
He's assuming.
Not
Yeah.
assuming.
Because he knew you need two witnesses. Mabdacham and Tzvei Eides.
was assuming.
It's a strong assumption.
It's a stronger. No.
No.
I don't think it's that strong because you have another.
You know,
option.
take away the first answer a minute, okay?
Then I'm good.
But to understand,
you have another answer. Why do you have to go
but
to
you
the
see, the
second
second answer has a certain geschmack to it. Yeah?
first
If I say a story,
It's the
wie heißt beim ersten Name? Wie heißt beim ersten Name? Yitzchak. Okay. If I say a story, okay, Isaac.
Okay. This when you say Isaac, you give me a minute.
I say you traveled, yeah. It was a maisa, there was an emergency, you had to go, you were Machal Shabbos, mamash to save somebody, and you traveled on Shabbos, yeah, from here to Mezhebush.
Okay.
Okay? That's the maisa. The only thing is there was somebody else with you. Bayirah Bayimotze, I don't mention a word.
Not that I've known it all.
Fine.
But
But it's a maisa.
you would talk about it. You were not going to talk about
It's a maisa, yeah? Tell a story. Say what happened. Say 3 people went, 2 people went.
Like the
So the Bashi says, obviously, 1 person went. You need 2 witnesses. He's not doubting that. So you got to say the guy was there.
Either was there or
If he was
or
there, you could
was
prove
another-
that was fake.
Or there was another witness that traveled from somewhere else. There was no
Chayda.
answer because-
Rashi says, what's the covet of Reb Nahiroi? What's the covet? That you're not going to learn the halacha from a second person. Now, according to the first pshat, you want to teach that it's an Adam Gadol, and you don't need the second person. It's disrespectful. Oh, we're going to bring a rai from a second person. Also, he's much smaller. The Pnei Yeshua says a geschmack of art. What's the covet of Reb Nahiroi? So the covet of Reb Nahiroi is that they wouldn't accept him as an aid.
Even though it was such a...
As an aid echad. Gadol Hadar comes and says, this guy is a good guy.
doesn't
You could
help.
trust him, no?
No, you need to.
Very interesting. He says the covet of Reb Nahiroi that they wouldn't trust him. Pnei Yeshua's of art. They wouldn't trust him. Why? Because you need 2 witnesses. Doesn't help who you are. Not that we thought that Reb Nahiroi is lying, but you need 2 witnesses. It doesn't change the fact.
And
Moshe Rabbeinu himself comes and says, Eidos, that this man did this and this. Sorry, you can't accept it.
Or
Not because we think Moshe Rabbeinu,
Or you didn't send 2 Gemara saying, I did that, and all that.
That's an interesting
Now the
word.
Mishpat-
And it's a bigger chiddush here because generally we have a klal that eid echad neman beisurim. When it comes to regular isurim of mitzvahs, you believe an eid echad, right? You believe a shaychet that the behemoth is kosher, yeah. You believe a woman that the home is kosher. You believe an eid echad beisurim, not questions of monetary issues or dinei nefashos. And this is an issue. This is an inyan of Kiddush HaChodesh. The Chachamim said you don't believe in Eid Echad because they're afraid that one character witness is also rented by the Batusim. He's also up for money. So you need 2.
it's all because of the...
Even though they could rent 2 people too, it's true. You can always rent people. But the more people, the harder it is to make a conspiracy. So one person they didn't trust as a character witness because maybe he was also bought up by the Batusim. L'cha'oida, Reb Nahiroi comes, you should say, you know what, Eid Echad is Neman. And Reb Nahiroi wasn't bought off by the Baitusim. But the pshat is like plug. Nobody is above the law. There's no such a thing in Judaism that somebody is above the law. I mean, this is a recent invention that some people think some people are above the law. There's no such a concept in Judaism. Everybody is under the law. Moshe is not above the law. Nobody is above the law. It's one of the chidushim of Yiddishkeit. There used to be a concept the king is above the law. The monarch. Somebody is above the law. In Yiddishkeit, it doesn't work. The melech is under the law. Kohen Gadol is under the law. Moshe is under the law. There's no such a thing. It's not.
Create the law.
The moment you do that, it's not Yiddishkeit anymore. The moment somebody is not under the, somebody above the law, it's done. Now
Again, it's not above the law. It's just create a new law.
Okay. No, it's the same thing.
You're talking about civil law, meaning the Beis Din still had their own civil law, which didn't necessarily,
No, I'm saying once the Chachamim made a din that you need 2 witnesses, Reb Nahiroi is not an exception.
Right, but
That's it. That's the kvoida.
What about if there
Right.
was a person who knew the witness, but Bezdin didn't know him, but there was another person who Bezdin knew, but he didn't know the witness, only the person on him. No, there's 2 people.
You
but
mean a
every-
character witness on the
not a
character
witness,
witness?
but
Interesting.
There's 2 witnesses, but
I hear.
everyone
Now
is
the
saying.
Pishnai
The witness has one character witness,
Yeah.
and the character witness has one character
Yeah,
witness.
which the Bezdin knew.
She goes together with Rashi. It's a
Huh?
different shot.
No, Pnei Yeshua is a different pshat. Kshmak pshat. Rashi says Kvoid of Reb Nahiroi is that you don't have to learn the halacha that Chilul Shabbos could be done through an Adam Gadol. In other words, we're trying to teach that even an Adam Gadol was Mechalel Shabbos for this purpose. So what are you going to bring another person here who is much smaller than him?
It's the opposite from the
It's not the covet. Yeah.
Or
The
maybe
Pnei Yeshua says it's not the cover that they wouldn't trust him as an Eid Echad. They didn't want to say he went with somebody else, even though he did. Mitzvah this cover, they said he went.
Now that you need two items is because of
It's a different shot. Fakert, it's a fakert shot. Loit Rashi brings out
Wow.
the godless of Reb Noiroi. Like the Pnei Yeshua brings out that Reb Noiroi is the godless of the Torah. Yeah, Zog's good. Even Reb Noiroi.
Now where did it take the Pishnai Eidim on this part is because it says Mishpat, Yechoik Yisrael Mishpat.
Yeah. Mishpat. It's a din of Mishpat.
So
All Mishpat, you need two
maybe it's
Eidos.
only by Rosh Hashanah that it's Mishpat and not on Rosh Chodesh.
No, but Zilbas Taima. Rosh Hashanah is made like any other Rosh
No,
Chodesh.
here there's the 2 days of Yom Tov. There's no like any other Rosh Chodesh.
But every
Not in
yeah, but Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot. I mean, you have enough. You could kvetch that it's only Tishrei.
Out his cupboard.
And then if it's only Tisha, then 1 Eidah should be enough.
Yeah, but why should you do that?
Because you see, Rabbi went himself.
The Pnei Yeshua says, "Kei nireli nachin lule sherashi loy pirishke." Rashi didn't say this, but he says this is how I would touch the Gemarah. Lule sherashi loy pirishke.
Is there any side to say that we're not mentioning a second person? Out his cupboard.
Also, the second person's code.
No, out his cupboard because we don't want people to think that you can be Michal Shabbos out escorting a tzaddik on Shabbos. Now someone would say, you see the Rav had an escort on Shabbos.
You're saying we don't want to mention the second person, so people should think that to escort a Talmud Chacham on Shabbos, who's allowed to be Michal Shabbos, you're allowed. But why would somebody think so? We all understand the reason the guy is coming is as an aid. Why would somebody, if the story is he's tam coming, Mela? But it says he's coming as an aid, so why would somebody compare it to a regular escort? I don't see how that mistake would be possible. He asked before, L'chayra Talmud Chacham needs an escort.
Right, no, so
But that doesn't justify Chilul Shabbos. In the middle of the week, you need an escort.
So I'm just saying maybe people would mistake. If you're saying that people would
I don't see how the mistake would happen. I don't see. There used to be in the old Svarim, you see that the printer would print it, and the one who wrote the Sefer saw that half of a page was empty. Not to leave the page empty, he'll add something. For example, there's a commentary of the Radal on Pirkei de Rebbe Lezer. It's a beautiful commentary. So on the opening page, he says, I'm going to say something, and he gives an incredible explanation. The Gemarah says that the Chachmei Yisrael and Chachmei HaUmmas had an argument what happens to the sun at night. Yeah? The Chachmei HaUmmas said that the sun goes to the other side. And the Chachmei Yisrael said that the sun goes, there's a window in the heaven, and the sun goes in, and then in the morning it comes out of the window. And the Gemarah says that this is one thing with the Chachmei Yisrael, Hoidu l'Chachmei HaMasa'olam. At the end they said that the Chachmei HaMasa'olam are right. Rabbi YY Jacobson Rabbeinu Tam says, Hoidu aval ha'emes hi kechachmei Yisrael. Shenemar b'keach haloynei rokiya u'moitzi chama mimkaima. We say in davening. So Radal explains the whole thing. Stop, I'm saying, lo loitzis anayah chalak. I'll say a word. It's an interesting question. In Rus, that we learn on Shavuos, it's brought that Rus was married. There was Elimelech. Elimelech had a wife, Naomi, Nami, and she had 2 sons, Machlin and Kilyan. They married Rus and Arpa. And then Elimelech died, Machlin died, Kilyan died. Arpa went back home, and Rus converted to Judaism, and she went with Nami back to Beis Lechem, back to Eretz Yisrael. They were very poor; they didn't have anything, so they went to collect grain from Boaz's field, and Boaz happened to be a relative. How was he a relative? Basically, Elimelech had brothers, right? One of his brothers was still alive, and Boaz was a nephew of Elimelech. So Boaz was a first cousin of Naomi. Boaz and Naomi were first cousins. So mitzad the relative, so Naomi felt that there would be a good shidduch between Rus and Boaz. So she sent Rus to Boaz. maybe Boaz would marry her, and also Boaz would do what we call concept of yibum, not mamish yibum, but similar to yibum. It's like a yibum is somebody dies without children, so the brother marries his wife and has a child on the name of the man who died. Here the same thing. Machlon had no children, Killian had no children. Arpa was going. Rus will marry Boaz and perpetuate the family. So Rus says, I could do it, but there's somebody closer. There was still an uncle alive. Elimelech's brother was still alive. So you have to ask him. His name was Toiv. Im yigal chatoiv yigal. And if not, I'll do it. So Boaz asked Toiv if he wants to do it. Marry Rus and take over the fields that they had. So the man said he can't. Why? Pen ashchis es nachalasi. I may destroy my nachala. So Rashi says, what's the nachala? Zari, my kids. Because Rus is a Moabite woman. Pasuk says, you're not allowed to marry a Moabite convert, even if she converted. She could convert, but you're not allowed to marry her. Only one Moabite convert could marry another Moabite convert, or one convert could marry her. Or other similar, but you can't marry her. So male, I can't do it. Because if I do it, pen ashchis azari, my kids forever will be blemished. Nobody will be able to marry a normal Jew. That's what he says. And therefore I can't do it. Boaz, therefore said, fine, I'll do it. He married Rus. Why? Boaz felt that there's no din on women, only on men. A Moabite woman could marry regular. Okay, that's Rashi. Here's a big pella. Rashi says the man refused to marry Boaz, to marry Rus. Why? Because my kids may be blemished. What about he himself? If you believe that you're not allowed to marry a Moabite woman or man who converted, forget about children. Let's say he doesn't have kids. Let's say they're not going to have kids. He'll marry Rus, they won't have kids. He's not allowed to do it. He's a chayid. It's like people say, I'm not sinning because my kids. Well, you're also, what does it do with your kids? Huh? Do a line. It's a big peller, Rashi. Pen ashchis azari. You yourself. Huh? Yeah, Rashi, Rus, a peller from Azach. You yourself. You're not allowed to marry a Moavi. Your kids. And let's say you're not going to have kids. You're allowed to marry.
Says it's nachlasi.
Yeah. Rashi says nachlasi is zari shenem alayave amayni. My kids forever, all the generations, all the kids that come from Rus are going to be problem cases with shidduchim. Be a shidduch crisis. It's a big pell on Rashi. What's pshat? So the Marsha asks this question in Gemarah in Yevamis. The Marsha says something that's very hard to understand. Marsha says for him it's not a problem. Essay doicha loises. The essay of Yibum is doicha the loises of not marrying a Moavite. His kids don't have an essay. How could the Marsha say such a thing? Yibum with a first cousin? Yibum with a first cousin? This man was Elimelech's brother. Naomi was his niece, and Naomi was his sister-in-law. Rus was his niece. Where's the Yibum with a niece? Where's the Yibum with a niece? Yibum is a brother-in-law. Where's the Yibum with a niece? A mitzvah's Yibum on a karev. You ever heard such a mitzvah? Mitzvah is if a woman dies, if a husband dies childless, it's a mitzvah that the wife marries her brother-in-law. Not a niece. No such a thing of Yibum with a niece. It's a nice thing. It's a concept of Yibum. It's a mitzvah. A mitzvah to marry a niece if he dies without children. Who ever heard of such a thing? You ever heard such a mitzvah? It's a mitzvah in Torah. Eishesach. The Marsha says mitzvah's essay doiche loisas. It's a pella. So the brisker of in Chidush Hagriz al Torah, the brisker of Rav Yavla Brisker says something. And I saw that it was really said a generation earlier by the Ben Ish Chai. Rabbeinu Yosef Chaim from Baghdad, he says the same thing. But in the yeshivish world, they say it's from the Brisker of. But the Ben Ish Chai said it already earlier. He says something very interesting. It says that David, Doeg told Shaul about David. Shaul asked if he thinks David is worthy to be a king. He says, don't ask if he's worthy to be a king, ask if he's worthy to marry a Jew. Because he comes from Moav. David was a great grandson of Rus. So they went to the Beis Medrash and they started to ask. So they said that she's a woman. She's allowed to marry. Rus is a woman. So Doig started to ask all these questions. It's everybody, a man, a woman. He went back and forth, and finally, somebody says, no, it's Cherev. Somebody put a sword in Beis Medrash and said, Mekublani min Beis Din shel Shmuel haramasi. I was Mekabel from the Beis Din of Shmuel. Amoini v'lo amoinis, me'avi v'lo me'avis. Doesn't apply to women. What was the chiddush here? Everybody knew that. That's why Boaz married her. That's why David's father married. Mekublani min Beis Din shel Shmuel haramasi. What's the chiddush? So the Brisker Rav says like this. Very interesting insight. Beautiful insight. There's two ways how Torah Shabbal Peh developed. One is Yud Gimel Midas, and one is Halacha L'Moshe Messina. Halacha L'Moshe Messina is, how do we know tefillin are black? How do we know tefillin are square? How do we know there's 4 parshas in tefillin? How do we know? Moshe said. It's called Halacha L'Moshe Messina. Then there are things Moshe never said. The Chachamim used the formulas that Moshe gave, called Yud Gimel Midas, Kal V'chaim, Gzeir Shava, and they deduced pshat and learning. What's the difference between the two? Halacha L'Moshe Messina, you can't argue. Yud Gimel Midas, there's different logical ways of looking at something. In one generation, Beis Din could say one thing. Another generation, you can have a new Beis Din, and if they're greater in wisdom and in number, they could refute the other Beis Din, and it could change. Yeah. Today we say Halacha K'Bis Hillel. The Arizal says La'asid Lavid. Sanhedrin is going to pass in Halacha K'Bis Shammai. How? They're going to reevaluate and they're going to see the world differently. Things could change. Because these are not machlokes in with his halacha l'Moshe Messina. It's based on perspective. It's based on logic. People's logic changes and personalities change. That's part of the fabric of Torah. That's part of the fabric of Torah. Somebody sent me yesterday a whole sharp email about something that said that it's against Das Torah. I said something, they said it's against Das Torah. So I said I have a few questions. First of all, who invented the word Das Torah? Which year? And what's the source for it? Second of all, what happens if 2 rabbis disagree? Which one is Das Torah? Just interesting. Which one? What if 2 rabbis disagree? Which is Das Torah? Yeah. Second of all, what makes one rabbi's view Das Torah and another rabbi's view not Das Torah? How does it work?
But the Quran didn't.
Huh?
The Quran broke off the Yiddish guy because they said the Mishnah has machlokes, and if it's true, how can it be machlokes?
Yeah. What?
So they said.
Absolutely not.
It's absolutely true.
What's pshat? What's pshat? You know, if it's consistent with Shulchan Aruch, it's Das Torah. If it's not, something in Shulchan Aruch, there's 2 shittas. Yeah? So you have to understand what's pshat Das Torah. What's pshat Das Torah? Das Torah doesn't, sometimes Das Torah. What?
He said that's a literature thing. I said her not at all.
No. What's the inyan? If it has a makar in Torah, there's a makar in Torah. If it has a makar in Shulchan Aruch, it has a makar in Shulchan Aruch. There could sometimes be machlokes, right? So there's different. So the Brisker Rav says like this. He says this man thought that the reason you're allowed to accept Rus is because the Chachamim, based on the Yud Gimel Midas, decided that it's only a man, not a woman. So therefore he could marry her, it's not a problem. What's the issue? In 100 years from now there's going to be a new Beis Din, and they may revoke it. So retroactively all the children that were born from this marriage now in 100 years won't be able to marry, even though I could. That was the Vart, because it's one of the Yud Gimel Midas. What was the Chiddush in Beis Din Shel Shmuel Haramasi? That it's Halacha L'Moshe Messina. If it's Halacha L'Moshe Messina, then there's no, it can't be changed. That was Boaz's Chiddush, that it's Halacha L'Moshe Messina. That man said it's not Halacha L'Moshe Messina. This is your logical formula, you're the Beis Din. I get it, I'm fine. But in 100 years there could be a bigger Beis Din and they'll change it. That's what he says. What's the raya that the Brisker Rav is right? In Hilchos 22a-b, the Rambam says, Halacha L'Moshe Messina, Mayavi v'loy Mayavis. How does the Rambam know? This doesn't say anywhere in Gemarah that it's Halacha L'Moshe Messina. Anywhere. How did the Rambam know it's Halacha L'Moshe Messina? The Mishnah says, Amoini v'loy Amoinis. How does he know it's Halacha L'Moshe Messina? How did the Rambam know? Elamai, the Rambam understood this is how it works. The man thought it wasn't Halacha L'Moshe Messina. It was just a logical formula of the Sanhedrin. So that could change in 50 years. And then I'll be fine. My kids will be ruined. The Chiddush is it's Halacha L'Moshe Messina. It's not a problem. Verstehst? Geschmack of art, huh?
Where does it say Nagriz?
Chidushe Hagriz ala Torah, in the back, is a few shtiklach on Novi. Not on Shas, ala Torah. You know, it's typed up. With the Beis Halevi? Yeah. It's a small thing. In the back, he has a few little shtiklach on Nach. A few little shtiklach. So,
the one on Chumash? At the end of the one on
at the end, he has a little shtikl on Rus. It's just a few lines, so he says this. But the Ben Ish Chai has a pirush on Rus. I think it's called Eim Lamelech, and I saw it over there also. The Ben Ish Chai came before. The Ben Ish Chai was much older than the Griz, so that's why it really comes before.
Eim Lamelech is his statement?
I think it's Eim Lamelech, something like that. Okay. So in summation, the Gemarah wondered if you can send only one character witness to testify that the witness who came to see the moon is trustworthy. That's what it would seem in the Mishnah when it says Mashalchin imoy acher laha'idai. You send somebody else. But that can't be the case. Why? Because we have a story where the Brisa tells us clearly that it was on Shabbos and two character witnesses came. So Rav Papa says, you're right. Acher doesn't mean one more person. Acher means another peer. Just like Oisai. Im Eina Makirim Oisai doesn't mean they don't recognize him because there's no him, there's them. Because you need two witnesses for Kiddush HaChodesh. Mishpat Lelekei Yaakov, it's a mishpat. So when it says afterwards, Mashalchin Acher, just like Oisai doesn't mean a single person, it means a couple, a peer, two people. That's Oisai. Oisai goes on the peer, on the couple, not on the individual. Acher also goes on the peer. You send a Zug Acher, another couple, to serve as character witnesses about the witnesses. That is how Rav Papa explained the Mishnah.
What's the difference between Chayk and Mishpat? Why is one Yisrael and one is Lekei Yaakov?
You say not connected, Stam.
You said Mishpat Lekei Yaakov.
Well, what's Negeya here is the word Mishpat.
I understand.
You're saying B'chlala, ha'ara klolos. And Yaakov, yeah. On this, the Gemarah says we have a story that contradicts this conclusion. Reb Nahirai was Mechalel Shabbos, but he went. It says he went to testify. So they answered that really there was somebody else. Somebody else went with him. The Bryce is not mentioning it out of respect to him, but there was somebody else that went. According to Rashi, it means the whole reason we're telling the story is to teach us that even an Adam Gadol, a great man, found within himself the ability to be Mechalel Shabbos for this purpose. So we want to bring a proof from Reb Nahirai. We're not just telling a story for story's sake. We want to bring a proof. To bring a proof from the other person who was far less than Reb Nahirai in terms of godless, in terms of greatness, it wouldn't be respectful to Reb Nahirai. Or as I said, the Pnei Yeshua says, the respect of Reb Nahirai, that they wouldn't believe him, even if he would come himself. He still need two witnesses. That's the respect of Reb Nahirai, the Pnei Yeshua. Rabashi says, no, he went himself. The Brisa says he went, it means he went, nobody else went. He knew that there was another character witness in Usha. So when he comes, he'll be able to combine his testimony with somebody else. But according to both interpretations, you still need two witnesses. So there's no contradiction to the other Brisa, and Rav Papa is right in his interpretation in the Mishnah. On this, the Gemarah asked, if so, what's the Chiddush? What's the Chiddush? And we're now learning, like Rashi, that it seems like the question is, if so, if Reb Ashi is right, what's the Chiddush? Meaning, according to the first interpretation, there's a Gewaldige Chiddush. that we're learning from Reb Nahiroi that you could do Chilul Shabbos. Even on Adam Gadol, it's not a b'di'evet thing. It's like, let's try to get away with it. No. He went to be Mechalel Shabbos, even though he's not the witness. He's just a character witness. It's really a hechsher mitzvah, right? He's not doing it. But still, you have to be Mechalel Shabbos. Reb Nahiroi is Mechalel Shabbos. And that's why you don't mention the other person. That's a chiddush. According to the second version, Rabashi didn't accept this as an answer. In other words, he doesn't believe. Why doesn't he accept this as an answer? It's a very good answer. Really, they went with two, but the other one is not negeya here. Because Rabashi doesn't believe that you need Reb Nahiroi as a source for Chilul Shabbos. In other words, once we know you're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos, and we know it already from the two Mishnahs. The Mishnah says that even carrying a bed, or sticks, or food, is Chilul Shabbos. In other words, whatever is needed, you could do Chilul Shabbos, including character witnesses like the next Mishnah. So you don't need a brayso for it, and you don't need to learn from Reb Nahiroi. And that's where Rabashi gives a new interpretation that what? Reb Nahiroi just went to meet somebody else. So what's the whole chiddush of the brayso? The chiddush and for the Gemarah is that you could Mechalel Shabbos on a suffix. What's the suffix? In the first interpretation, there's no suffix. He went with somebody else. According to Rabashi, there's a suffix. The second character witness may not be home for Shabbos. Rashi says, Eine bebeisoi. That's the suffix. Shema eine oisei bebeisoi. You could be Mechalel Shabbos on a suffix. It may be futile. You're traveling. You're violating Tchum Shabbos. I don't know what else happened over there. Why? Maybe there'll be somebody there. Hopefully he'll be there, but maybe not, right? It's a suffix. Nonetheless, you could be Mechalel Shabbos. Ad kedei kach. That's already a chiddush according to the Bash. Now let's take a look in Tosfos. V'chad mi mehemen. The Gemarah opened up. The sugya of the Gemarah is: can you believe one? The acher, can you believe one? Chad mi mehem. You see the top Tosfos Chav Beis Amud Beis. You'll see Tosfos learns the Gemarah differently. You see, Rashi says v'chad mi mehemen lachshirei lazeh b'cheskes mammon. Do we believe one witness b'cheskes neman? Do we believe one witness to make this man kosher? Or we need two. Tosfos says, Tema. What's his question? Ki loy mehemen nami mechalel es haShabbos leilich sham shemi yitztaref emach. Even if you want to tell me that one witness is not believed to testify, okay, fine. So he's not believed. But l'cha'oire nami mechalel es haShabbos leilich sham. You should still be Mechalel Shabbos to go. Why? Shemi yitztaref emach. Maybe he'll find somebody else who knows the witnesses who came, and they'll combine together. Just like we said the same halacha about seeing the moon. Kedetnan b'perek Kama. We learned on Chav Beis Amud Aleph, Gabei Avu b'noi, a father and a son who both saw the moon. They can't testify together because they're relatives, according to Tanakama. What's the halacha? Yelchu, they should go. Even on Shabbos. Why? Not because we're going to use them together because they're relatives. If one becomes disqualified, the second one could be combined with somebody else who saw the moon. That means...
Here it's different. Because the moon, there is more chance that somebody saw it. When he goes and he doesn't know that he's... In the case of Rabbi YY, he knows he's going to find somebody. He knows that there is somebody there, but maybe he's going to be here, maybe he's not going to be here. Here, he doesn't know. Maybe there is someone that know him, but I have no... Rabbi YY knew that there is somebody.
You're saying that the suffix here is much more.
Yeah.
The moon is available for everybody.
For everybody, yeah.
Here, you first of all, okay, you're saying it could be there's another character witness, but...
I don't know.
You can't be sure, and even if there is, you also have to find him.
Exactly.
He has to be in the right place. You have to find him. Okay, you're saying it's not the same taikif. It's not the same taikif. Yeah. So the point is, what do we see from here? That even if you yourself are going, and you know that your testimony is futile because your father is also going, one of you can't testify. Nonetheless, you can be Mechalel Shabbos. Why? Because I could combine with somebody else. If so, Frek Tosfos, the Gemarah says, "V'chad mi mehemen." Is one believed, and therefore why should he go be Mechalel Shabbos? That's how Tosfos learns the Gemarah. Why are you letting him be, based on how Tosfos learns that the Mishnah is trying to tell you could do Chilul Shabbos? Why could you do Chilul Shabbos with one person? What's the point? Why are you letting him be Mechalel Shabbos? Thank you, yeah. Why are you letting him be Mechalel Shabbos? Doesn't make sense. For what? For nothing. One is not believed, so why are you letting him do Chilul Shabbos? So Tosfos says, I don't understand the question. You have it with the Eidos themselves, so you can have it with a character witness also. You're going to combine with somebody else. That wasn't the question. Wrong interpretation. The question was not how are we allowing this one man to be Mechalel Shabbos since we don't believe him on his own. As we said, that's not a question. Even if we don't believe him on his own, he could find somebody else. He's not asking on the halach, he's asking on the language. The nakat acher, the mashma, the chad mehem. The word that the Mishnah says is meshalchin acher, not acherim. Acherim means others, acher means one other. Lashon yachid. That's the question, Pashat. Not a question of pilpul, why are you allowing him to be Mechalel Shabbos? I had a good answer for that. The question is, why do you say the word acher when you can't send acher? Because acher is not enough, you have to send acherim. It sounds like that one is enough and really you need two. Like the Braisa says, eight of Lashon Rav. That's how Tosfos learns, which essentially Rashi said, V'chad mimehem and lachshiroi, b'cheskes, lachshiroi lezeh, b'cheskes na.
He doesn't have a problem with YY Jacobson. It's the same problem.
Right. You're right, that was Rav Papa's word.
Right, I'm saying, but that's
Yeah.
deal with that too.
Yeah. So what is Rav Papa's answer? Acher doesn't mean one person, acher means two people. What's his proof? It says, Imeinon makirin oisai. If they don't recognize him, if Bezdin doesn't if they know that the Bezdin does not recognize him, who's him? The witness who saw the moon, Mishalchen acher. Asks Rav Papa over here, nobody argues, you need two. What's oisai? Oisai, you should have said oisai. The answer is, it's a couple. Acher is also a couple. Tosfos, very interesting question. Same. Micah Amar. How do you know Oisai means two people? Maybe Oisai means one person. They don't know one person of the couple. Two witnesses are going to see the moon. One guy is the chief rabbi of Tel Aviv. They know him. If they know Bezdin knows him. The other guy is a fine Jew, right? They don't know him. What's the big deal, Tosfos? I don't understand. Rav Papa says, it says, Mesha'im ein makirin oisoi. It can't be one person. It needs to be two, because you have two witnesses. I know you have to have two witnesses, but maybe they know one guy, they don't know the other guy. So oisoi means one person. If oisoi means one person, Rav Papa's whole proof is gone. Oisoi means one person, and acher means one person. But here you have a problem, because oisoi could mean one person, because one of them they know. Acher, you have to send two. You have to send two character witnesses for the guy they don't know. So l'chayr, Tosfos doesn't have an answer. Rav Papa's whole raya is thrown out of the window. You understand? Rav Papa's raya was oisai can't mean one, even though it means one, because it means a couple. So he says, how do you know? Maybe it means one individual, because the other eight they happen to know. They don't need a witness. They know the guy. Everybody knows. Bezdin in this city knows that guy they know. They just don't know the other one. So they have to send somebody to testify. But now they have to send two people to testify. So the l'chayr of Papa's raya is out the window. So I saw this morning the Aruch LaNer says that he thinks that the Gemara's logic is simple. And the Aruch LaNer says a Pashat Tzvana. He says, why would the Mishnah say oisai, not oisam? You're right. There could be a mitzias that they know one guy, they don't know another guy. You're right. But what? Two people are going. So why don't you just say, just do it balabatish, do it straight. They don't know them, so they have to send somebody to be made. Just say oisam. Is it possible they should know one and not the other? It's possible. But why would the Mishnah insist on differentiating? One guy they know, one guy they don't know. Just say, just do it glata hate. Yeah? What do you gain by this differentiation? It's not like gaya here. The word is that you need a character witness. What's the difference for one person, two people? Just say for both Eidos. So Rav Papa says the Mishnah does do that. The Mishnah does. do that. Oisei doesn't mean one person. Oisei means both. If Oisei means both, Acher can also mean two. That's how the Aruch LaNer answers. But Tosfos himself says Tema without an answer. Sada Achri Nahava. Reb Nohirai went with another witness. Don't think he went himself. There's no proof from here that you have one it. Zok Tosfos. Here, Weiter, he has a very interesting interpretation. We're learning, like Rashi, what Sad Achri Nahava? Sad Achri Nahava meant that...
have a second witness.
Sad Achri Nahava, I'm saying this is Reb Ashi's interpretation. First interpretation is Reb Nohirai Taka went... Okay, there's two interpretations. One is Sad Achri Nahava Bahadei. There was another witness with him who went together. And Reb Ashi says there was Sada Achrin Hava B'Usha, there was another witness in Usha. Zok Tosfos, Sada Achrin Hava Yesh Loimar. You could say Pshat, the mighty, according to Reb Ashi, it's not like we're learning, like Rashi, that in Usha there was another character witness. No. According to Reb Ashi, the mighty Be'ed Echad Shera HaChodesh. There was, Reb Nohirai saw the moon. He wasn't a character witness. There was one witness who saw the moon. Shaholach Reb Nohirai litztarif imoy l'hoyd nami ala chodesh.
How far was the distance between where he was to Usha? How would he know that? Come back to where he was. It's in the Tchum, that's for sure. No suffix within the Tchum. Because if he knows...
Well, then there was no Chilul Shabbos. You say maybe they carried something.
Ezekiel knows, if he knows this guy saw the moon, and he went back home,
maybe we could say that
they didn't go straight.
Maybe they took let's say 2 hours. The guy left Friday night, and Bezdin says you need somebody else. So maybe they came to get Reb Nohirai, or they came to get somebody else.
Get the other guy.
And he came, let's say Shabbos morning. Let's say it was an hour, 2 hours. So it's more than the Tchum Shabbos. So there's Chilul Shabbos.
What is Nohirai?
Where Reb Nohirai was?
Where is the?
They were in Usha. They had to go to Usha to the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin was in Usha.
The Sanhedrin was in Usha?
Yeah.
So
the Sanhedrin, Rashi said the Sanhedrin was in Usha, yeah.
At that time it was in Usha?
Yeah, Rashi says clearly, Usha k'sheyashva Sanhedrin sham, v'sham hoya mekachin as hachodesh. That was the place.
If a single guy sees the moon, he's allowed to Mechal Shabbos?
Yeah, he goes.
We said even the father and the son could both be Mechal, even the one guy you're not using.
The second guy was Mechal Shabbos.
You don't know. You hope. What if it was a foggy night and you guys had mazel? But probably, if you two saw it, probably somebody saw it. But you also need that guy to come. It could be where the Sanhedrin was. You couldn't see the moon.
Doesn't make sense. How does Reb Nohirai know that this guy in Usha saw the moon? How does he know? He knows Dafka because he knows this guy saw the moon.
Right. Maybe the fellow.
It says he knows. He knows
two things. Maybe the fellow came. You want to know how Tosfos could say how Reb Nohirai knew the second guy saw the moon?
If not
right.
The fact that
maybe they sent a messenger from Usha. They said we need somebody else. There's no witness. So Reb Nohirai went with him.
So they went to that. You can't do Mechal Shabbos.
Why?
Mechal Shabbos to send a messenger to say we need.
If you're looking for a witness, l'chayda.
I don't know.
Or this aide maybe was with Reb Nohirai, and wherever they lived, and he went to Usha, and they said, "You don't have we need another witness." So he went to get Reb Nohirai.
He's with Reb Nohirai in Usha.
Not in Usha. Reb Nohirai wasn't in Usha.
Whatever village.
Let's say on town, not far,
Okay.
but Tchum Shabbos, more than the Tchum Shabbos.
More than the Tchum Shabbos.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So there was
Chilul
Shabbos.
Shabbos. Back to Usha on Shabbos.
To get him. To get somebody else.
Where did they see Reb Nohirai and this?
Saw it in their town. So the man went.
In their town.
They said you needed to bring another person.
And the man went.
They said you need to bring another person.
Why would he go by himself to Usha?
Because
he thought there'll be other people.
No, the Yamachil, that's like you don't do that. You don't do that.
Why?
Yes, we do. Why not?
You don't make the assumption you're going to see somebody else. I forget. You see the moon, you to go.
Right.
Nohirai didn't go, according to you. Nohirai said, somebody else will be there. I don't have to go.
You want to know why Nohirai didn't go l'chatchila?
If you tell me that's
You want to know why he didn't walk with this guy? Maybe.
That's why he's not going to be shot like that. Because doesn't make sense. You can't have it both ways.
Wow, the Gemarah says Lahud Ula. It doesn't say Lahud.
Right, and that's a Lashon, that's Chav Lashon, Allah.
So Lahayid Allah, according to this, would be no. The moon is Lashon Nekeva,
Yeah,
unless it's Yareach. The Yareach is Zacha. Levana is Nekeva. Levana. But Lahayid Allah, sometimes you have Allah with him. Parshas Bamidbar. V'Allah Matei.
Right.
V'Allah could be with him, on him, with him. So you could say Lahayid Allah with him.
Rashi says that.
Right? So Tosfos says, Halach Reb Nairai letztarif imay ulahayid nami ala chaydash. V'hadik tani bebraise lahayid alav a chaydash kai. Lahayid Allah, he touches on the new moon, on the chaydash. That would be lashon zachar. So he touches taka alav on him. I thought you can also say with him, but Tosfos says alav means on him. In other words, on the new moon. Avol be Yerushalmi or b'Tosefta.
What is he gaining from this?
Wait, this one is check.
So that's the historical. No. But why? But the Roy was not there. He was in that city. He was not there. He had to go there.
It's not
We
much
don't need the
more
Rosh's
at all.
answer anymore.
Huh?
We don't need the Rosh's answer anymore.
I'll tell you what he's gaining. No, I'll tell you what he's gaining. Very geschmack. What is Tosfos gaining? What do you need this doichik, yeah? Poshet. Because now the question and the answer of the Gemarah is much more geschmack. The Gemarah says, I hachi maila memre. What's the chiddush? It's a mutchinish a little bit to understand the question. There's a chiddush here. No, it was Mechalel Shabbos. Like Tosfos, it's a gewaltig. I hachi maila memre. In other words, what's the chiddush?
But the Mitzvah.
In other words, what's the question? What's the chiddush? That if Noiroi went to say he saw the new moon? We had Mishnahs that you're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos. Clear Mishnahs. One Mishnah after another Mishnah after another. You're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos. So what are you telling me? If Noiroi believes you're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos to see the moon? What's the chiddush? That he went to say he saw the moon? Okay, big deal. Why shouldn't he? And for the Gemarah, the chiddush is it was Allah Safek.
What's the
Yeah,
suffix?
we know also. We also have a Mishnah for that.
What's the suffix?
What's the suffix? There was one person.
The suffix is with the guy's home still.
So the Safek would be
He
Taka.
saw the moon because the Roy.
So now we have to change the story. That what Tosfos was learning was that it was completely a Safek. Reb Nairai himself saw the moon. And he didn't know he's going to meet somebody. So when it says he went Lahayid Allah, it sounds like in the beginning of the story, he knew there's a guy there. Right? So if the guy came back, the guy, Avi was struggling. What happened? What, there was a telegram.
No, maybe.
So the kind of pshat is he knew nothing. Lahayid Allah means he hoped. Nobody saw the moon near him.
Same suffix when you have mitzvah ache imoy. He
Yeah.
was looking for that.
Yeah, he was looking for that. So Lahayid Allah doesn't mean he
It's not
went
a specific purpose.
with some Sadachirin. That doesn't mean he knew there was another
Right,
witness.
right.
He
That's
hoped.
much better.
He hoped there was
Much
another
better.
witness. Yeah.
Big chiddush.
So in other words, in his town there was nobody who saw the moon.
Right?
We have Mishnayot for that. We have
What?
2-3 Mishnayot.
No, not Allah Safek.
Yes,
Where?
Ave Beno is not Safek.
No, if there's a psul in one.
Ave Beno is also Safek.
You mean there'll be somebody else?
Yeah, maybe there is nobody,
Yes,
and Michal Shabbat for nothing. He's also
Same
Safek.
suffix.
And Eder Chad is also Safek. Every time you have one witness.
Doesn't say
I saw the moon, I just go. Why you go? Maybe you know, maybe nobody's gonna come.
It happens to be when they go.
No, that we didn't learn. Avobnoi we
No,
learned.
that's right. They go in Zugim. We learned Claude that they go in Zugim. Rabbi Kiva was Ma'akiv.
Yeah, because it's much geschmacker. Listen,
Ma'akiv singles.
if you go with two, it's much better. There's no question about it. So Reb Noiroi probably saw the moon himself. Nobody in his city, he probably asked people, said they saw. So you could think, okay, I was just having, a vision. But he said no, he went to Mechalel Shabbos, Allah Safek.
That's a Rashi.
That's the Chiddush, according to the Bash.
What is the first Chiddush? There was Sahad Achirin of the
No, according to this, the I-Hachi is only under Bashi. I-Hachi Maila Meimer is only a question under Bashi. The first interpretation, I know what the Chiddush is. The second interpretation, that he went to see the new moon, what's the Chiddush? Of course you can be Mechalel Shabbos. The answer is Allah Safek. You be Mechalel Shabbos, Allah Safek. That's the mile of this interpretation. But you're asking a good child, you already have a Mishnah. You already have a Mishnah that what? Avu B'nai should both go.
I mean, it looks from the Lashon Gemarah, it looks like he definitely knew.
You mean Sadachrina?
Yeah. I mean,
Sadachrina sounds like there was another witness. Not he thought maybe there'll be another witness. Avol zaktoisvis be Yerushalmi b'teisefta muchach behedye de bakaras eid mai. But the way the story is quoted in Yerushalmi and in Tosefta, in Masechta Rosh Hashanah, it's clear. It says clearly that he went in order to tell Bezdin who the aid is. In other words, Shahalach Reb Nahirai lahoyed alav the kasher. Reb Nahirai went to testify that he's kasher, not that he saw the new moon. Rashi. That's what Rashi says here also, that in Usha, he knew there was a second man who knew the witness who saw the moon, and Reb Nahirai came to him. According to this, so now Tosfos says, he throws a new bomb, that the question Ihachi Maila Memre is not going on Rabashi, it's going on both answers. Sai, the first answer in Gemarah, that Reb Nahirai went with somebody else as a character witness, and we're just not mentioning him, else is covered. Sai, the second answer, Rabashi, that he went to find somebody else as a character witness. In both, the Gemarah says, I don't see what the Chiddush is. And we have to say the Chiddush is ala Safek. Now, when you look at Rashi, on the word Misfeika, Rashi, the word Misfeika, which is the answer, Rashi says, Shema ein oisya ein bebeisa. In other words, Rashi is learning that it's all about the second question, the second answer, the Bashi. Because in the first case, there was no such a Safek, Shema ein ein bebeisa. He went with two people. You go with two people, there's no Safek. So Rashi is learning not like Tosfos. Rashi is learning the question was only on Rabashi, and the answer is on Rabashi. Tosfos says no, the question was on both answers. Oh, so that's the Shaila. What would be the suffix in the first interpretation? How could Tosfos say that it's a question on both?
Maybe Beis Din don't know the other guy.
Huh?
Maybe the Beis Din don't know the guy.
Reb Nahirai.
No, they know Reb Nahirai. They don't know the other guy.
You see,
because with Reb Nahirai.
But we agree that they're coming to say.
Oh, so he's saying we have to. So what would be the question according to both answers? The question would be Hachi Maila Memra. What's the chiddush that Reb Nahirai went with somebody to be Mechalel Shabbos? It's a Dava Pashut to be Mechalel Shabbos. We're going to say the chiddush is that it's an Adam Gadol, and if it's going to be Mechalel Shabbos, the Gemarah doesn't believe it's a chiddush. Why? Shulchan Aruch is for every Jew. If you're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos, you're allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos. If you're not allowed to be Mechalel, you're not allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos. The Gemarah doesn't believe it's a chiddush. If it's not a chiddush, what is the Brisa telling you stories? We have a Mishnah. You can go to Ibn Haydai. Went very nice. Thank you. Why are you telling this to me? Maila Memra. What's the chiddush? The answer is the chiddush is you can go ala Safek. What's the Safek now? The second interpretation is a Geshmak Safek. We don't know if the guy is going to be home. The first interpretation, there's no Safek. So you're saying the Safek is that what? Reb Nahirai knows that Bezdin knows him.
Yeah, but
he was one of the great Gedolei Hadar.
The Torah was given for everybody.
No, but he's saying maybe Bezdin won't know him. Bezdin won't know him, so that's the suffix, right?
Maybe
that's the suffix. Bezdin won't know him, so Meil it's a suffix. Or you could say
Bezdin won't know who the second.
Won't know the second guy. No, Reb Nahirai wasn't sure. Reb Nahirai wasn't sure, but to say that would look.
Why did the second guy you can't? Why did the second guy have to?
But I'll tell you, to say that would be strange. Why? Because then ha'ike chasem in ha-sefer. The whole chiddush is that he took a guy that they didn't even know, and you don't even say that. According to that, you understand? That would be a chiddush. That would be a chiddush. You're telling the story, and you're deleting the detail that is the point of the story. The point is not Reb Nahirai. You're telling him the whole point of the story is the other guy, not him. Right? So that would be a little strange. But the Ritva says that the Sveika is, it's not like the suffix in the second case. Sveika is that the Eidos could back out tomorrow. The Reb Nahirai and his friend who are going, it's a suffix. Why is it a suffix? Because to be a character witness is not a pashta thing. Today you decide to do it. Tomorrow when they come to Bezin and they have to testify, one of them may back out. Why will one of them back out? Because when it comes to the moon, Lamashal, let's say you're going yourself to say you saw the new moon, or your two Eidos are going. We're not saying it's a suffix. Why would Eidos back out and say, no, we didn't see the moon? You saw the moon, you saw the moon. But to be a character witness, your own reputation is on the line, right? In other words, Bezdin says, maybe the guy is a Baitoisi. No, I know. How do you? I remember him from yeshiva. It's 30 years later. You know what happened. You know who his shred is. You know who his figure is, right? Now you're putting yourself on the line. Seeing the new moon. You saw the moon. The Tva says, but here, to be a character witness, you're putting your reputation on the line. Remember, you're the one who testified for this person. Here, you have to be mamash 1,000% sure. So it's always an inyan of a suffix. That's what the Gemarah means. It's always a suffix. It's not something that you may go through with. That's the pshat in Tosfos that
it was also a suffix.
On both of them, in other words. It's an inyan of a suffix that they may back out.
That's not the suffix. The suffix is on the other guy, if he's there or whatever.
That's it. According to the Bashi, for sure you're right. According to the Bashi, for sure you're right. But Tosfos, as he says, it's a trei pircha, it's a trei shinoi, it's on both answers. Sagt Tosfos, sagt die Gemarah weiter. Ki asa ula lebavel. We said that you need 2 witnesses to see the moon, and you need 2 witnesses to serve as character witnesses. 2 and 2. Now is one more question. Do you need 2 witnesses to tell the Jews what happened? To see the moon, I need 2. To tell me that the witnesses who saw the moon are good guys, I need 2.
Yeah, we remember before with Levi.
Oh.
If Levi was able to say Eidos, they would have accepted it. So you don't need 2.
Right, but over there, he was intervening with the Yom Kippur already.
What's the difference? He's still telling him what happened. And they would have accepted it. Tell him what happened. They said, you want to say Eidos?
So he said, I didn't hear from Bezdin Mekudesh.
Right.
That was the problem. That Levi didn't hear from Bezdin Mekudesh.
But they would have accepted him.
So he says, Ki asa Ula. Once Ula came to Bavel, to Babylonia, from Eretz Yisrael. Omar, he tells the Jews living in Babylonia, Ki tshua liyarcha b'ma'arava. In Ma'arava, in west, and remember Iraq is to the east of Eretz Yisrael. So when you're in Bavel, you say Ma'arava west, you mean Eretz Yisrael. So he says they sanctified the month in Eretz Yisrael at a particular day. It doesn't just mean they sanctified the month. That's not a chiddush. They did it every month. It means at a particular day. He doesn't finish the sentence. Let's say on Monday they made Rosh Chodesh. Rav Kahana said, don't think we're believing him because he's Ula. Loi mi boya Ula. No question Ula. The Gavra Rabba, who is a great man, the Mehemen, he's believed. Nobody's questioning if we can accept his testimony when Rosh Chodesh is. Any person from the world will also be believed. My timer. Why would he be believed? One witness coming and saying something that is very consequential. Remember, all the Yomim Tovim are going to be established based on this, when we don't eat chametz, when we don't do malacha, etc. The answer is my timer. Kol milsa davidili gluya loy meshakri ba'inshi. A psychological principle, and that is anything that is destined to be revealed, people don't lie about.
There's no more Basusim already. We're not worried about them anymore.
Right.
This is just because the
Yeah,
Basusim
yeah.
would lie.
So all the shlichim were singles.
Huh?
All the shlichim were singles.
In other words, you can have even a single person. Why shouldn't you have 2 witnesses? It's a very serious issue here. The answer is usually the witness is telling you something that you're not going to find out, right? Here it's Milsa David Lagluya. Next week, a week later, 2 weeks later, guys, there's a filthy liar. If you're a human being, you don't want to do this. Milsa David Lagluya, you don't lie about, right? You say something and 20 minutes later, everybody knows you're a liar. Therefore, we could trust him.
Let's see the present.
There's an old word they said. An alta vertel, you see that people do lie about Milsa David Lagluya. The answer is, Loi Meshakri Ba'inshi. That's a mensch. A human being doesn't do it. Not a mensch, you could lie about
The
anything.
only thing we're afraid of is sheker, not like they made a mistake. Maybe it was one person who made a mistake, 2 people. The only thing is either telling the truth or he's lying. There's no...
mistake. It's a question
He
of
didn't know which day. He
Bezin
didn't look. He thought it was a Tuesday. He forgot what Yanni said that day.
If you have a suffix in your mind, you don't say it to people. Usually.
He counted the inch factor.
They convinced themselves that it's all right.
Perhaps. Mefarshim ask, L'cha'oira, why does the Gemarah need this Torah? The Kahana has this whole Torah, Milsa David L'gluya. B'chlal, we have a klal, Eid Echad Neman B'Yisurim. You believe one witness when it comes to forbidden or permissible things. For example, I ask a guy, is this piece of meat kosher? Is it chaylev or is it not chaylev, right? I could believe him.
Even a woman.
Even an Eid Echad. A woman, yes, you go to her house, you eat, you trust her on the kashrus, you trust her on nida, right? If she's tired, she's not tired. Dine mom. So for kiddush hachodesh, we would have also believed Eid Echad, but there's a pasuk mishpat. So we compare it to civil law. Al mishnayim made them yakum davar. Comes to capital punishments, issues like shvichas damim, chilul Shabbos, avodah zarah. It says clearly, you can't kill a person based on Eid Echad. No malchus based on Eid Echad. No monetary verdicts based on Eid Echad. But Eid Echad nemen b'Yisurim, yeah. Eid Echad nemen b'Yisurim, right? Somebody does b'dikas chametz, you believe them. Somebody says this is kosher, you believe them. So what will be the difference here? This is the chaninian of not a civil issue. L'chayre it's an inyan of Rosh Chodesh. So for kiddush hachodesh you need to. So the Mefarshim say, you're right. But here it would look like that the Chachamim would have been careful. Why? Since the Chachamim made, we're going to see soon, the whole reason they sent Shluchim was because there was a problem, because the Baitusim tried to fool everybody. There used to be a system of torches. They had to cancel that system and send Shluchim in order to avoid that problem. So we would think you had such a problem, so you would need more than one person, because here there was an exception because you had a problem with the kus. Another issue here is, it's takanas hamoyadis. It's not stam they're telling you this is kosher or treif. All the yamim tovim and the kehillas are going to be established based on that. So you would think, maybe you can't just use anybody to testify. Or, you could say, chaymer hamoyadis, the chumra of yamim tovim. So therefore, without the reason of milsa david l'gloya l'meshakri inshi, they may have not believed one person. So the Kahana says we would believe anybody. Tanya nami hachi. We have also a brayse that supports this. The brayse says, ba echad b'soifa olam va'amar kitchu bezdin es neman. Even if a person comes from the other side of the world, in other words, nobody knows who he is, he comes b'soifa olam, from the end of the world. The bach is meir misoifa olam, yeah? Ba echad misoifa, not b'soifa olam means he comes at the end of the world. He comes from the other end of the world, we don't know him, and he says, Bezdin made this and this day Rosh Chodesh. Neman, this man is believed. So clearly, Reb Kahana is correct that we're not believing Ula because he's Ula, but we're believing Ula like we will believe any person who comes, even though we don't know him, because Milsa David L'gluya loy meshakri ba inch. Seifa Ilam.
Right before the ladder, before you fall off.
Well, at this point, Seifa Ilam, like we learned from the Balamayr, would be east of China.
Right.
East of China. 90 miles east of Eretz Yisrael. Right?
That's so far.
Now you'll ask a Pashat a question. 1 second. You just said that we only accept witnesses from people that we know. So why here wouldn't we say you need somebody you know? The same problem. If we really have Taka, this is the Shaila. If we Taka have an issue of Baitusim who want to fool everybody, right? They want to fool everybody. In other words, they're ready to do anything in order to deceive Bezdin, and that's why you can only accept Eidas that you know. So why shouldn't we be worried here? A guy comes and he says, this day Rosh Chodesh, maybe he's lying. So you have to say the Svara of Milsa David L'gloya Lo Meshakri Inshi is really powerful. That even the Baitusim will not do it, because they're going to be exposed as liars. They don't mind saying they saw the new moon. They don't think it's going to be Avida L'gluya. Wherever they were.
No, I'm saying, where were they? Were they strictly?
I don't think it was one place. So it's interesting. We suspect them that they would rent false witnesses, hire false witnesses to say they saw the new moon. That's why we're not accepting witnesses unless we know that these people are trustworthy Jews, that they're not up for sale, they're not up for hire. That we suspect. That's why we have to have all these character witnesses. But yet, so in other words, we're dealing with liars, filthy liars. But yet, to lie to others about the day that Bezdin made the Rosh Chodesh, we're not being suspectful. Why?
Because Milta.
Milsa David Ligluya, Loy Meshakri Inshi. But now the question here is, we're going to learn in the next Mishnah.
Why isn't that Milsa David Ligluya? I mean, they come and they're lying about this.
I guess the night of Rosh Chodesh, it's so, the visibility is so small, they think they can get away with it. The big question here on the Gemarah, though, is we're going to learn in the next Mishnah that they used to light torches on the wrong night in order to deceive people. So you see clearly they did this. Why don't you say Milsa David L'Gluya Lo Meshakri Inshi? They used to light torches to deceive. Yeah, they should look like it's Rosh Chodesh, as we're going to see soon.
They did this on the night 30.
They would do it on the wrong night, whatever.
On the wrong night.
On the wrong night.
Why were they so obsessed?
It was one choice. Huh?
Why were they so obsessed with?
Why were they obsessed? We'll soon see. We'll soon see.
Once done under the cover of darkness, no one knows who lit the torch.
Ah.
You testify.
Excellent. Nobody knows who did it, right? You go up to a mountain, you light a torch, you give it to a kid, you say, "Hey, go up to the mountain." Yeah. You see torches in Bavel, you don't know who did it. So they, here the guy is coming and saying, that's not a Vidal, a very good answer. No, it's a Balabatish answer. You can also say the torches accomplished that the whole Klal Yisrael got confused. Here you're coming to one community.
That they would do already.
You know, the whole Klal Yisrael, that's an accomplishment. You understand? Everybody outside of the area, it's complete chaos. And then it's not going to be so avidly gluya. Somebody else will come and say, "No, that's Rosh Chodesh. No, everybody, look, the whole community is doing it this way." And here they're coming to one place, it's targeted, and then you find that in the other city it's the exact opposite. So therefore, it's a much less chashash that it's going to happen. I mean, could you have a liar? Of course you can have a liar, but al pi roiv, you're not going to have a liar, and therefore we rely on the majority, and we say that you could trust anybody who says that this is Rosh Chodesh and it's good.
What is the halacha with the false idols? Somebody who comes idols.
For Kiddush HaChodesh, they don't accept it.
Huh? Yes, what you do with them?
Yeah. That's the must.
Depends. I mean, Adam Zayman and Asisim like Hashazam Lasas Lach. If you come and you say I owe him $1 million, then you have to pay.
You have to make him down.
So he has to make
twice.
What are you going to do?
You make him down Rosh Chodesh Musaf twice.
B'Rishoyna, the Mishnah continues. B'Rishoyna yimakavnei desachaydish mikol adam. In the beginning, we're going to see the story now. The question of Malchus, Martis. Okay, we'll see. But in the beginning, as the Mishnah says, why do they send character witnesses? Because they used to accept testimony from every person. Once the Baitusim ruined it, they instituted, we only accept edus from people we know. So the Bryce is now going to tell the whole story to explain to us what happened. Little introduction. It says in Parshas Emer, Usfartem lochem mimacharas hashabbos miyayim avayachem es omer atnufa sheva shabbos mimis tiyana. We have to start counting 49 days from the day after Shabbos. Mimacharas, from the morrow after Shabbos, the day that you bring the special carbon omer, and you count 7 weeks and you celebrate Shavuos. Yeah, that's a pasuk in Parshas Emer. What does this mean? It means that a day after Shabbos there was a special carbon called the carbon omer. They would go to the fields, they would harvest barley, they would bring the barley to the Beis Hamikdash, they would grind it up, they would grind the kernels into flour, they would refine it. The kohen, how much flour, they had a flour which was the measurement of an omer, which is basically 43 point, the volume of 43, mem gimel beitz and b'chaimish beitz, 43 eggs and a fifth, 43.2. That's how much flour they needed. The kohen did kmitza, right? He filled up much of his fist, the 3 fingers, with flour. He burnt it on the mizbeach. The rest of the barley flour was baked into matzah and eaten by the kohen and on Pesach. They had a lovely meal, mimacharas hashabbos, and from that day we start counting the omer from the night before. Shai. What do we teach mimacharas hashabbos? Shabbos is Saturday. Shabbos is Shabbos. Machar Shabbos should mean Sunday. We don't touch that. We say Machras HaShabbos means Machras Yom Tov. Shabbos doesn't mean Shabbos, it means Yom Tov. It could be Tuesday, it could be Wednesday, it could be Thursday. Right? Second day Yom Tov means Machras HaShabbos, which for us is a second day Yom Tov. In Eretz Yisrael, it's Chol HaMoed. It's not Yom Tov. It's not the regular Yom Tov. Yes, different time. So, when do you bring the Karban Omer? Tezayin Nissen in the morning. When do you start counting the Omer? Tezayin Nissen at night. The night of Tezayin Nissen. The Baitusim who deny Torah Shabbal Peh, they had a problem with this. They said, stop manipulating Torah. Mimacharas HaShabbos means Sunday, a day after Shabbos. Yom Tov is not Shabbos. Shabbos is the seventh day of the week. That means the Karban Omer has to always be brought on a Sunday. What if the first day of Pesach is Tuesday? I don't care. You're not bringing the Karban Omer until Sunday, yeah? Start Sunday. What is gained by this? Shavuos is always on a Sunday. Because if you start counting Sunday, you count 7 full weeks. The 49th day will always be on Shabbos. The 50th day is always on Sunday. So by them, Shavuos was always on Sunday, and Sfiras HaOmer always started on a Sunday. Mitzvah Shabbos, you started to count. Sunday morning, you brought the Karban Omer. That was the shit of the Baitusim who denied the tradition of Torah Shabbal Peh, that Memacharas HaShabbos means the day after Yom Tov. Zog the Gemarah, Tana Rabbanon. The rabbis taught a story. They told a history. Ma kilkul Baitus. When the Mishnah says the Baitusim destroyed the process, and that's why Bezdin changed the laws, what did they do? Pa'machas, something happened one time. What happened? Bikshu ha-Baitusin lahatas es chachama. The Baitusin seeked to confuse the sages, the chachama. What is the story here? The story is, it was the end of Adar. 29th day of Adar was on a Friday. The 30th day of Adar was on a Shabbos. Okay? Now, if the moon would show up Friday night, Shabbos morning, 2 people would come to Bezdin and say, we saw the moon last night. Shabbos would be Rosh Chodesh. Shabbos would be Aleph Nisan. If Shabbos would be Aleph Nisan, when would Pesach be?
2 weeks later.
Remember, Pesach is always the same day like Aleph Nisan. Okay? Right? Whichever day is going to be Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Aleph Nisan, that's going to be the same day Pesach. Because Pesach is the 15th day. Yeah? So if Shabbos would be, if Rosh Chodesh Nisan would be Sunday, if Rosh Chodesh Nisan would be Sunday, Pesach is going to be on a Sunday. Because Aleph is Sunday, Yud Dalet, 14 days later is Shabbos, 2 weeks, right? And Tesvav would be Sunday. If Rosh Chodesh Nisan is on a Shabbos, the first day of Pesach is going to be on Shabbos. They always wanted the first day of Pesach on Shabbos, because then they'll say, it's a Macharas HaShabbos, Sfiras HaOmer is on a Sunday. The problem is...
Within a day, I can understand that. They can get it. But if it's on Wednesday,
right.
They can't push.
So it's what happened here. This was within the day. It was Friday night, 30th of Nisan. There's no new moon. There was no new moon. That means it would be no Rosh Chodesh 30. Rosh Chodesh would be 31. In other words, Aleph Nisan will be Sunday. In other words, Pesach will be Sunday. In other words, they'll start counting the Omer on Monday, and that's when they're going to bring the Karban Omer. They went crazy. So what they do? Sachru shnei bnei adam ba'arba mei zuz. They hired 2 people for 400 zuz. They gave each one 200 zuz, which was a nice sum of cash. Echad, but here's what happened. They wanted these 2 people should go to Bezdin and lie and say they saw the new moon Friday night, so Shabbos will become Rosh Chodesh, even though they never saw a moon. But here was the deal. They had bad mazel. Mazel was one of the people who took the money was not on their team. He was undercover. Echad. By the way, the expression Mishaluni comes from this Gemarah as Mishaluni. Stop, you should just know. Echad Mishalanu. The Gemarah is like, the Bryce is saying, one of them was one of ours. What do you mean one of ours? A man who was loyal to the Chachamim, to the Chazal, to Torah Shabbal Peh. They didn't know him. So he said, hey, give me the cash. He took the cash, but he was loyal to the Chacham. Ve'echad Mishalahem. And one was a Baitusi who really believed in their cause. Nut Mishalahem. Their guy, Shalahem, hey, they do so. He did his job. He came to Bezdin, and he lied, and he testified, and he said, I saw a beautiful new moon. Now, Bezdin would listen to the Eidos separately, because they wanted to examine each person individually and see if it matches, right? So this one did his testimony. V'yatza, and he left. Shalanu, our person came, the Braisa says, Amru loy, they tell him, as they said to every witness, Emar Ketzad Risa Salavana. No, tell us, how did you see the moon? This was always the opening question. Tell me, how did you see the moon? Meaning, what did it look like? Where did you see it? Everything. You had to describe all the positions. Amar Lahem, so this is what he tells them. Listen to this guy, he was a Chevraman. He says, I was walking up to a region called Ma'ale Adumim, which is actually already mentioned in Tanakh.
Same place today.
Close. It's already mentioned in Tanakh and Sefer Yeshua. Ma'ale Adumim. Uri Isiv, and I saw the moon. I saw the Yareach, I saw the moon. Shehu Ravutz ben Shnei Slayim. The first thing is the moon was crouched between two stones. Roishe Doima La'egel. The head of the moon looked like a calf. Ozn of the ears of the moon, Doima Ligdi. Looked like a goat's ears. Karn of the horns of the moon, Doimus Litzvi, were compared to a deer, a gazelle. Uznave, and the tail of the moon, Munachas Leiben Yarchaisav, was lying between his thighs. You know, the tail of the moon. V'itzatzti boy, I took a look at the moon, v'nirtati, I got terrified, v'nafalti la'chayrai, and I fell backwards. That's basically my testimony. V'im einatem haminimli, and if you don't believe me, I have 200. No, remember, this is on Shabbos. This is on Shabbos, right? I have 200 zuz in Sedini in my kerchief. They used to in my pouch. So sudden is like a blanket, a kerchief in my cloak. Yeah, 200 zuz. If you don't believe me, I have 200 zuz, and now you'll believe me. Amrulai, I don't understand. Who forced you to do this? Who made you do this? What's their point? Their point is, obviously you're an honest man. You're telling us the truth. You saw the moon via boidim. You didn't see any moons. You saw animals. So you're a truthful person. You saw a zoo. So why did you take 200 zoos? You took 200 zuz to testify falsely. You're not even doing your job. I'll tell you what happened. I heard the news that Baitusim were looking to deceive the Chachamim through hiring witnesses. Amarti, I said to myself, Eilechani, I'll do it. I'll go, I'll take the money. Vaidia lahem, and then I'll go to the Bezdin and I'll tell them what happened. Why did I want to do this? What do I have to take money and do this? If I wouldn't do it, somebody else would do it. They would get two people who are not muhuganim, who are not trustworthy, and they would deceive you. Amrullah, the judges told him, first of all, you just made yourself a couple of bucks. The 200 zuz you can keep, it's a gift. Even though you would think it's theft, because they gave it to you in order to lie. You didn't lie. You didn't lie. So this is a very interesting halacha. Just because they think you lied, you're not allowed to take the money. You took somebody else's money. The condition was you have to lie. You didn't lie. You're not allowed to take the money. Bezdin said we're still halachically allowing you to keep the money. Rashi will say why. And the one who rented you, he should be placed on the pillar to receive lashes. That moment they instituted, they realize we have a real problem here. You're going to have every month false witnesses. We're only accepting people that we know. We're not accepting any more witnesses that we don't know. So Rashi says, let's see Rashi.
In control when the Chum was still in control.
Yeah, they controlled Bezdin, but look what happened. Take a look in Rashi. The 30th of Adar was Shabbos, but no new moon appeared. The Baitusim have a taiva. From the word taiva, they have a taiva. They want that you should lift up the omer, that's the carbon omer on Sunday, and Shavuos on Sunday.
They wanted everyone to think that maybe took on our shit.
Of course, yeah. If they would get Bezdin to make Pesach, right, on Shabbos and Monday and Sunday, then they send out a rumor that Bezdin embraced our view. That's a gewaldige thing for them, of course. Lefi shehein darshan memachras haShabbos yinifenu is memachras Shabbos bereishis k'mashmai, like the literal interpretation of Shabbos. V'sachru shnei bnei adam lohayu shiros hachodesh hayar. So they hired two people to testify falsely that they saw the new moon. Echad mishalanu. So the Ashley says, so why would they hire him? V'lo yikiru. They didn't know the guy. They thought he's a baitusi. Masayim zuz nesunim l'chab matana utehei rashoy la'akvan. You could keep their money. Afal pishlo yishlam tatnai shel chalasoychrecha. Even though you didn't fulfill your condition, you didn't lie, you said the truth. So l'chayr it's gneva. So Rashi the yesh reshus lebezdin liknes mamen v'lasayse hefker. Part of the authority of bezdin is they could penalize somebody for money and turn the money into ownerless. It's ownerless money. Hefker bezdin hefker. In other words, these 200 zuz they could say it's ownerless. It's hefker. It's part of the authority of bezdin. They could make the money ownerless. If it's ownerless, you can have it. How do you know? Maybe they can't. Again, everything has to have a source. Bezdin, there's no such a thing as a dayan does what he wants. It's not hefker. Very good. Hefker, Bezdin, hefker doesn't mean that Bezdin is hefker. Shenemar, there's a pasuk. Ezra said, whoever doesn't show up within 3 days, he convened the Jewish people. We will confiscate his property. Ezra HaSofer was the leading chacham of his time and the founder of Anshe Knesset HaGdolah. This is what Ezra says, so we learn from here, Hefker Bezdin Hefker. Yimatach ala amid, zok Rashi l'malkus, kedamrina b'mesechta makis, koifis shteyadav ala amid, you tie both of his hands on the amid. I have to tell you, Geshmak avoid from the Chasam Sofer. Chasam Sofer asks, he said, if you don't believe me, here are 200 zuz in my cloak. How is that a proof that he's saying truth? He's basically describing that he saw the moon, and the moon looked like a zoo. There was no moon, no, there were animals. In other words, there was nothing. And if you don't believe me that I'm saying the truth, here's money. Here's the 200 zuz.
Here's the bride. He could just say, listen.
He could have just said, yes, just say. Say, listen, there was no moon, which he basically said there was no moon. It's also Baba Maisa, Ois Getrachte Maisa. And by the way, if you don't believe me, here's the 200 zuz. First of all, maybe he's lying and it's his own 200 zuz. I mean, the fact that I have $200 in my wallet, how does that show that you hired me to lie? Let's say I don't do this and I'm making up a story, okay? Because I want to say the other guy is a liar, for example. I'm making up a story. Say, oh, here's the money that they gave me. What's the proof? What it says on the name? So some Sefer says a very interesting word. He says, they asked him, Keitzad Re'ises Halavana, how did you see the moon? Why is that so relevant here? They always asked it. Some Sefer says it means that he already testified. He came to Bezdin, he walked in, and he said, Eidus. What's the Eidus? I saw the new moon last night. We have a klal. Kivan shehigid, shuvin echayzer omagid. Once an eid says eidus, halachically, we accept the eidus. Now they say, how did you see the moon? In other words, he already saw the moon. Min ha-Torah, we accept that. Emes, midirabbanon, we investigate and investigate and investigate. That's true. But min ha-Torah, right, this is not din in nefashos, it's not capital issues or even monetary issues. It's about the new moon. We accept his Eidus, and the Eidus is kosher even without scrutiny and examination of Bezdin. If so, now when he comes and says, by the way, I'm hired, I'm a liar, what I said was a lie, you can't retract anymore halachically. So therefore, we already accepted his Eidus that there's a new moon. However, says the Chasam Sofer, it was Shabbos. Like Rashi says, it was Shabbos. You carry 200 zuz in Rishus HaRabim? You're puzzle. You're not a kosher. You're Mechalel Shabbos, and Mechalel Shabbos min ha-Torah. Not a P'sachilul Shabbos d'Rabbanan. Carrying money is a problem of muktzah. That's a din d'Rabbanan. But Rishus HaRabim, Yerushalayim is a Rishus HaRabim. Plus Tchum. Yeah, okay, depends how far the Tchum was. But let's say it was in Tchum, Let's say it was in Tchum. So he's a Mechalel Shabbos. So if he was a Mechalel Shabbos, he's Pasala Eidus. 1 second. So now the question is, how was he a Mechalel Shabbos? The answer is, The answer is, for Kiddush HaChodesh, allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos. And he was trying to protect Kiddush HaChodesh. These lowlifes wanted to make a false Rosh Chodesh. In order to undermine their scheme, he was Mechalel Shabbos min HaTorah in order to protect Kiddush HaChodesh. So he said like this, if you don't want to accept me that I lied, because I already said I saw the new moon, here's $200. I'm Mechalel Shabbos. I'm Pasal Le'edus min HaTorah. I'm Pasal. Why do I have Masayim Zuz? To see the new moon, you have to come with money? You say, you're right. Why do you have to? The answer is, I carried it in order to prove that they're wrong and to undermine them. In other words, I'm a kosher witness now. You understand? So therefore, my first testimony is a lie.
Why did you lie the first time? Because if not, I'm telling you, this is the story that happened. Why did he have to come out with this whole thing?
In other words, there's no Eidus. If you believe the first Eidus, I'm a Mechalel Shabbos. And if you believe the second Eidus, then there's no Eidus.
If he doesn't say Eidus, there's no Eidus.
He came together.
You want to know why he said it?
In front of each other. They were together, right? Now when he separated, you can tell the story. Together, they didn't want to tell the story.
Everything is separate.
No, the Seder with the Levana is not separate.
Huh?
The interrogation is separate.
Pashtus. How did they set together?
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe Yossi didn't want them to kill him. And also the Pashtus, he come with your friend and you say you saw the new moon. Yeah. Now, sometimes you don't accept the Eidus without Chkira and Risha. Guy said you killed somebody else, you don't just kill him. You have to go through a whole process. But here, Kiddush HaChodesh min HaTorah, it's good. So min HaTorah, it's a good Eidus. If it's a good Eidus, right? Because min HaTorah, we don't suspect that people are lying about the moon. We just don't do that. So Meshagas, that the Baitusim went crazy about the moon. People are honest about the moon. What's the issue? So the Torah accepts people. Right? So therefore, you understand the word. So therefore he said, if you don't believe me that I'm lying because I already said Eidus, I'm a Mechalel Shabbos. So my Eidus is not good. If you believe the first statement, you accepting from a Mechalel Shabbos, Eidus is possible. Elamai, I'm not a Mechalel Shabbos. Why? Because I was trying to fool them. So then again, my first Eidus is false, and that's how he solved the problem. Where do you find that he was allowed to be Mechalel Shabbos? So you're saying you're allowed to do Chilul Shabbos to carry them in a bed, to take sticks to fight off the Baitusim. We said you're allowed to take sticks in Rishus HaRabim, right? Why? Not because the moon needs sticks, because the Baitusim are there and you could fight them off with sticks.
It's all the same thing.
So you're saying he's being Mechalel Shabbos. He's being Mechalel Shabbos to give false Eidus.
No, he's being a Mechalel Shabbos to save.
I'll tell you why. Because b'mayadam, the same svara. Why are you allowed to do Chilul Shabbos? Because Rosh Chodesh has to be in the right time. Is the right time to be on Shabbos? No, they didn't see a moon. The right time is Sunday. So I'm being Mechalel Shabbos for that.
Nice.
But why did he have to carry?
No, think about it. Mikroi Kodesh asher tikru oisam b'mayadam. That Bezdin should say Rosh Chodesh is the right time. That's not Shabbos. There's no new moon. When is the right time? Sunday. So I'm being Mechalel Shabbos that Bezdin should say b'mayadam. Should be the right time. I think it's correct. No, I think it's richtig.
It's a double agent.
But it's an interesting word, huh?
The halacha of if it's they got paid the 200 if they have to give it only because of the canceled the.
Of course, Hefke Bezdin have to. If not, he has to give back the money. He has to give back the money. You see, it's an interesting thing. There's no such a thing. Bezdin says, you know what? They're liars. We just take the money. It doesn't work that way. They may be liars. The guy may deserve malchus. I can't just take money because I'm taking revenge. It's very interesting. You see here how halacha works. There's no such a thing, I don't like you. We're taking the money. I'm taking revenge. We need a mechanism. You don't take money. Hefke Bezdin have.
It's very close.
Anyway, you could keep the money because he did his job. They caught
Yeah,
it afterwards. He set it up to the
No, he
He didn't do his job. Come on. He didn't do his job.
He did. He
When you say that it's a goat and a calf, what?
No, because he testified.
I mean, in the beginning.
I did my job. He testified and
Let's
said
say
that
Shabbos,
you
okay?
recognize that you didn't want
So his kavanah when he took the money was
That's over Shabbos.
Yes, I saw the new moon.
I testified.
Now I earned the
the money now.
3 years.
So they didn't have to get class then.
Shabbos after Rabbi Arlovsky is coming, yeah? Yeah, okay.
In the afternoon, it's not like
So then why did it?
visit his brother.
If he said that he didn't have to, he did his job, then there's no class, we don't need
This
best then.
movement here by Tushim, it doesn't seem just a handful of people.
No, it was
Why did they have? Why couldn't they
It
have
was a huge group.
40% of the Jews.
Why did they have to hire people? Didn't have from their own to come and testify?
Because to go lie,
Probably,
why would you lie not for money? Stam mamish to
Not only
lie.
that, maybe the Baitusin hired not a Baitusi, so it's one of
Huh?
the four.
They believed in a different interpretation. Why didn't they use their own?
Yeah, listen, they believed it's the proper thing. They knew that to lie about the new moon is not the proper thing. No, they didn't believe it's the proper thing.
Nobody's loyal.
They didn't believe it's the proper thing because they knew that Rosh Chodesh has to be with the new moon. It's just they craved Pesach to be on Shabbos. That's what they wanted. They knew they have no control over the Chachamim. There's no way that the Karban Omer and Sfiras Omer could be on a Sunday. It's not going to be that way. That's what they do. But they knew they're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, but even if they knew they do the wrong thing,
No.
why didn't they get people from their own?
They tried.
They wanted the full best.
Nobody's corrupt.
They wanted the full best.
Huh?
Nobody's corrupt.
Also, look what happened.
It's a corrupt thing to do. Why would you do it without money?
Besides that, when
Ain't
But
Adam
it's a
chayte
movement,
v'lay
It's a movement, 40%.
It's a movement, but you're explicitly lying.
I think I would rather say...
You're screaming, Memachras HaShabbos! Midvar Sheketirchak. The same God said not to lie. Memachras HaShabbos!
But how can they live with such
I would-
economy, you know?
I would say they'd rather they've actually probably...
Now you're asking a
not
good
by
question.
Maybe the
If they're quoting Torah, in other words, they care about Torah, Memachras HaShabbos, by doing this, they're eating chametz on the wrong day. Same problem. You're screaming, Memachras HaShabbos! You're making Pesach a day early. Yeah?
They did, actually.
So the 8th day, you're making Pesach a day early. You're making Pesach a day early. What happens?
You make them face...
The 7th day of Pesach, you're eating chametz.
Nah, if the Bezdin says,
Oh.
Bezdin can do it,
So that's what Tosfos
If
answers.
Bezdin to do it, then the
You know what? Take a look. Let's just take a look. Just take a look. Tosfos lahatis is a chachamim. You see? Very good. Tosfos' answer. You see lahatis is a chachamim? She'ira yoyim lamed shel Adar b'Shabbos. The 30th of Adar was on Shabbos. V'lo nira ha'chodesh b'zmana. The moon didn't appear in its right time. U'baytusin mis'avin she'yoyim aleph shel Pesach b'Shabbos. Baytusim have a taiva that the first day of Pesach should be Shabbos. Kedei shetei anofas omer b'echad b'Shabbos. So they should wave the omer, the carbon omer, the barley offering on Sunday. V'atzeres b'echad b'Shabbos, and Shavuos will be Sunday. By the way, the word mis'avin, they had a taiva, could be explained a little more geschmack. The Gemarah says, the Menachos Samachei, that the reason they said, Moshe said Memachras HaShabbos is because he wanted Jews should have more relaxation. If Shavuos is the middle of the week, Shavuos is one day, so you only have one holiday. He says Moshe was Oyev Yisrael Haya. He loved Jews, and he wanted they should have cheesecake for 2 days. A vacation has to be a weekend. If Shavuos is on Sunday, you have a weekend. You have Shabbos, you have a Sunday. So Misavin, they had a taiva that Pesach should be on Shabbos, so Shavuos would be always on a Sunday. So Mela, they'll relax 2 days. If you show your Darshan and Machras HaShabbos, Shabbos Bereishis K'mashmai, Kach Pirush B'Kuntus. This is Rashi's explanation of the Gemarah. Frek Tosis V'im Taimer, Umamar Vichem, what are they going to gain? V'aloi Miskalkelen in your Pesach. They believe in Torah. They're ruining it themselves for Pesach. You're screaming me Machras HaShabbos. But do you believe that you're not allowed to eat chametz 7 days? Yeah. If you're making today Rosh Chodesh, so Pesach is going to be on Shabbos also. That means you're making Pesach a day early. So Pesach starts on Shabbos. It goes Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's Shvi Shel Pesach, the last day of Pesach, 7 days of Pesach. The next Shabbos, what we would call Acharon Shel Pesach, you're going to be eating chametz. Really, Pesach was supposed to be Sunday, and you're not allowed to eat chametz on Shabbos. So the same Baitusim who are screaming Machras HaShabbos are ruining their whole Pesach. What would be their cheshbon? V'yesh laimar the loy chashiv le kilkel. For them, that's not a problem. Mishum de darshi atem afilu mezidim.
Which is interesting that they darshan that.
Because that's Torah Shabbat Peh.
So
Very good.
that's their part.
That they accept. You
Oh,
see,
another-
they accept that whenever Bezdin makes Rosh Chodesh, it's Rosh Chodesh. Atem afilu mezidim. Even willingly. Certainly here, Bezdin is not even doing it willingly. Bezdin is making a mistake. So b'meila lepoyel, Pesach Taka ends on Friday, and you can eat chametz on Shabbos. That they're not worried about.
They probably wouldn't be able to eat chametz on Achrosh the day after Pesach.
Why?
Shabbos, you have 7 days, and you're going right to Shabbos. When are you going to make chametz?
Okay.
So they were not worried of that part.
You're saying how you going to get chametz?
Yeah.
There was no frozen pizza. You're saying?
No, there was no frozen pizza that time. Huh?
A butel mashke, l'chaim, whatever.
They didn't sell the chametz at that time. It wasn't the
You say they were mavayir chametz. They were talking mavayir chametz.
Today there's no such a thing like Pesach. Saturday.
No, we have it.
Oh,
Of course we have
the way
it.
that we have it.
We have Pesach starts Shabbos. Of course.
When?
Whenever it finishes. Sfira Soimer starts Sunday. We don't have a problem with Sfira Soimer starting on Sunday. We have no issue. What's the problem? Of course Pesach starts on Shabbos. You never did your first Seder Friday night? Of course. You do the first Seder Friday night. Pesach Chali is
Why would they
Shabbos.
so
Of course it
festive?
happens. Why not?
That-
Bezdin would have done it also if the new moon would have appeared. Bezdin would have done it also.
They were accepting Eidos.
They were dafke.
They were accepting Eidos. But it can happen also on other day of the week. We don't have a problem that Memacheres HaShabbos could fall out on Sunday. We just don't make that the condition.
Which days is not Pesach? It's not starting Pesach.
Bedu, no? Bedu. Beis Dalad Vav.
On Friday, so Thursday night again. So you can't finish Pesach Saturday, Friday.
No, you could.
No, it's 8 days, not 7.
Oh, here it's 8 days. In Eretz Yisrael it's 7 days.
Oh, so what do? They eat Chumash Shabbos?
Why not? What's the big deal? If you put it in your freezer and you sold it, what?
have freezers already.
If you sell your chametz to a guy, so it's fine. Oh, you're saying because you can't be kind of back on Shabbos. Oh, that's what you do. You're right. Mitzad that you're saying.
Was it only Nissen that were?
You're right.
they
You
were-
wait till afterwards.
They were busy with the Levana, or because of Mimachras Hashabbos?
Because of Machras HaShabbos, that was their agenda. Once Bezdin had this story, they realized, this month we had Sayata de Shmaya, that the wrong guy was hired. But next year, so that's it.
He
They
actually
changed
got
the whole
paid.
system.
He actually
They accepted no Eidos anymore
They didn't-
unless they knew them personally.
They didn't need Bezdin to cancel for him to keep the money because of Knas of Bezdin. He did his job. He came. He delivered the Eidos.
You mean like the Chassam Sofer? Yeah, but he ruined it. Come on.
He ruined it. That's,
No.
if the Kavanah is the
No, listen. If I would have known that he would do it, I would have never given him the money. So then it's Gneva. Yeah.
Gnevis the Das.
It's Gneva's Das. It's Gneva's Das, and when you take the money, it's Gneva. That's just Gneva's Das, it's Gneva. So Atam Afilu Mezidim, they accept it, even though it's Torah Shabbat Peh. In other words, the authority of Bezdin, they accept it.
In order to fool Bezdin, they did everything they can.
To fool Bezdin, they accepted Bezdin also, yeah? You know the Vart. There was somebody who wanted to make a Sanhedrin in Eretz Yisrael after the state was established. So somebody asked, it says that one of the conditions is he has to be a Soine Betza. He has to hate money. Where are you going to find today somebody who hates money? He says, "For Geld kann man das kaufen euch." For money, you could also find somebody who hates money. If you pay him, he'll hate money. That's also fine. So I'm saying for money, they'll accept Bezdin also. You want Bezdin, he'll say Bezdin. Huh? He'll learn to hate it. If you have enough money, you could afford to hate it, right? Huh?
They still needed Bezdin.
When I was a kid in yeshiva, there was a boy who was extremely wealthy. And he would come and he would burn $5 bills and $10 bills. He would burn money. And it was like a whole show. And there were a lot of poor kids, there were a lot of poor kids. And they would stand and look. It was very, very...
It's like taking food in front of a hungry person.
It was distasteful. I mean, we were little kids, so it was a little bit of a mockery, but... Yeah. Huh?
Did you get my message?
Just not. Somebody came to somebody and says, I want to tell you a secret. I says, what's the secret? He says, I tell them the secret with this. I know already for 3 weeks. So why didn't you tell me? I didn't know it's a secret.
Very good. So you're good. So it's interesting. Atam afilu mezidin, they accepted. The Machras HaShabbos, they didn't accept. There is just a little difference. I mean, Machras HaShabbos clearly says Shabbos. Stop. The Bezdin is Kaveh HaChodesh, is a Chodesh as Alachem, Rosh Chodashim. You still need Torah Shabbal Peh. But here, they said that you're distorting the Pasuk. I'm just saying, Atam afilu mezidin is a little, you're not distorting a Pasuk.
Rationalized it, I guess.
Yeah, but if you want to rationalize, you could rationalize anything, right? Okay. Oh, it's already 6:55. What?
Give him a little money. He'll land today.
On Monday, in Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to learn, the Mefarshim say, why did this person make up this whole story with the goat and the calf and the deer? He could have just said, they're a bunch of liars, there was no moon. So the Mefarshim say he wasn't trying to make up a skit. He was giving a whole message that was hinted in all those animals. So we're going to learn in the Mitzvah Hashem on Monday.
But still, he had to do it in code. I think the Midbar Shaka.
No, he didn't have to do it in code. He was there himself. The other guy left already. He could have just said.
It seems that he still has sensitivity to be honest to what he's doing, but I need to give that the message.
He wanted to earn his money.
In a way that best will understand, but
You're still worried about the 200 zis, that he should earn it right.
They said you made yourself 200 zuz. Why not? Stopping of Chala of Shabbos. He probably had to leave the money in Besdin because it was Shabbos. He couldn't take it home. So he probably left it there and he came to pick it up and say Shabbos.
Their money, it's not my money. So.
It's Shabbos. What's that to do? Sai carrying, sai muktzam, and it's a lot of problems.
I mean, we don't say here that he was necessarily right what he did. And it seems that they gave a stamp of approval.
Yeah, of course it was right what he did. You see, they changed the whole system based on that. Yeah, he's not being criticized here. Think about what would have happened had he not. Let's say the man would have not accepted the money, and he said, no, I'm not going to be part of your scheme. So what would have happened? They would hire somebody else. You're saying, why didn't he go to Besdin and tell Besdin, by the way, there's a plot. And there's a plot, and then when witnesses would come, Besdin would so scrutinize them to prove that they're liars. That's what you're asking. Why did he have to take the money and carry it on Shabbos? He could have come to Besdin himself.
Somebody else and they'd have Eidos, and they might not be able to.
So that's the fact,
They're on their second aid, they're not hiring their third aid.
Tazai. Like this, he knew for sure that the scheme would be foiled. If he would have let them do what they did and then come to Besdin, it would have been his word against their words. Probably he would have been vindicated because Besdin would examine them, and Besdin knew the astronomy, and they would show that they were wrong. But still, if these guys were prepped well, yeah, they may have been prepped by experts. So you're risking it. So that's why here he knew for sure he's going to foil their plot. Because he's going to be one of the witnesses, and it's not going to happen. So l'chayra, this was a very a noble thing.
This class is brought to you by theyeshiva.net. Please help us continue the classes. Make even a small contribution at www.theyeshiva.net/donate.